Welcome to Moonbase 2.
And welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Corporate Man at TFW, and I'm joined this week by the man who sits on dogs, or dog sits, one of the two. It's Mikey G. Wolf V3. Hello, Mikey.
Considering the size of the dog, that would seem like really cruel.
Okay.
Just like, hey, sit in this dog, and all you see is these two little black paws sticking out, and all you hear is like, Nyeh.
What if you're like, what if there is nothing but dogs inside of you? So, do you remember the old Gremlin toys where you could turn them inside out? And it had the...
Oh, no, I've forgotten about those, and I was happy to have.
My friends Matthew and Andy had them, and I thought they were always kind of neat. You know, it's nice and furry on one side, and then it was all kind of monsterish on the other side.
Oh, what were they called?
Did they have a specific name?
Because
obviously
there was
Gremlins.
a line of them. There was a line of them. Like, cute to monster.
Yeah, I know. Oh, there was Stripes. I think there was Gizmo. Was it based on the first one or the second one? That's what I wasn't sure about.
Gremlins had a lot, but it wasn't just Gremlins. Like, there was one you could buy here, like, and it was on TV a lot, but it was just like, what was it called? And it would be like this really cute like rabbit, and then you turn it inside out, and it's just like this hellish thing that wants to eat your face.
What era are the ones you're talking about from? Were they 90s as well? Or
mid-90s. Mid-90s.
Mid-90s. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because, like, I remember the actual Gremlin ones, but these weren't, like, licensed Gremlin stuff. These were, like...
right. It was taking the same idea that...
Yeah.
Whichever came first, whether it's the Gremlins or those. Someone stole the idea from someone because, you know, toys and whatnot. Okay, I get you. I can't think of the ones specifically you're talking about, though. Maybe I do. Wasn't like Fright Pets or something, was it? Did it have something like a really generic name?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember. I can picture them in my head. It's one of those moments.
I thought they were neat. They were an interesting little idea for a cuddly toy for a lad. You know, if you wanted more of a lad huggable thing in bed, it turns into a monster. I had a raptor from Jurassic Park. It's quite cool. Yeah, they weren't very cuddly because they were kind of stiff, and they didn't really have fur, obviously, because it wasn't past the 2000s where paleontologists like yourself ruined dinosaurs by saying they had feathers. That's right.
We make things cooler.
I don't think dinosaurs look cooler with feathers. I don't think anyone's ever said that.
Loads of people have said.
Thousands,
millions of people have said that.
That they look cooler with feathers.
Yes.
No, fuck off.
Yes.
I don't believe you. Do you think Dr. Dinosaur would look cooler with feathers?
That's a plot point.
Oh my god.
That's one of their conversations. Like, you're not real because you don't have feathers.
The only time that Dr. Dinosaur would look cooler with feathers is if he was tarred and feathered.
Yeah, that's the thing. If Dr. Dinosaur did it, he would cover himself in feathers.
Yes.
And he would say, like, behold accuracy.
But Mikey, we're here this week to talk about Transformers, as is the game that we play, you and I, on the Sega Mega Drive system that we've got in front of us.
Don't make me
obviously.
Sad. I miss the Mega Drive.
That's right, Sega Mega Drive. So this week we're gonna
past level 2 of Shinobi when I was a kid.
I don't. Which Shinobi? Shinobi 1 or
3,
Shinobi 2?
I think it was. Because
I think there was 2.
No, there was 3. There was at least 3.
Was it 3? Okay.
Yeah, but I was quite small. Like, it took me ages to get to the end of Sonic, and like I could do Sonic now in like a couple of hours. But I just remember that bloody Shinobi. Like, I was trying for 2 years at a friend's house every Sunday for a couple of hours, just like try to get past that first boss, and I never could.
I mean, to be fair, I'd say that Shinobi was probably easier than Ninja Gaiden on the Nintendo, but Ninja Gaiden was there to hurt people. It wasn't there for fun. Like, there were some games back in the day that weren't there for entertainment. They were just there for you to scream at. And maybe one day get past, but
yeah,
no
and before save systems, so it wasn't like you made progress and then could walk away. No, you had to finish it in one go.
Some of them gave you like a cheat code, so you could start from a level which was almost like a save code.
Yeah,
a save. Some, not all. They only implemented that on some stuff. Otherwise, it's do it one go.
And that was when save codes were like a big cultural thing.
Yeah,
like,
they were massive as well.
and
They were at
cheats
least
as well.
13
Like,
digits or something or more. It was something stupid.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
massive.
But I always found it interesting when game cheats fell to the wayside, when they stopped being like part of gaming culture.
Oh, you mean like big head mode and stuff like that? No
Yeah,
gravity. Yeah.
Or infinite weapons, or like weapons only thing. It just like
That was sad. I really they were fun. They added an extra game element, and like you say, they took them away.
Yeah. Because I'd say it was like mid 2000s when cheats became less of a thing.
Probably, yeah. And then it was a few more years until I guess the replacement for cheat codes, sad to say, is probably DLC.
Yeah.
And then DLC turned into microtransactions, and now it's 2021.
Yeah. And they're just like, here's Genshin Impact.
Yeah, well, at least for a mobile game, there is a game to it.
That's not a mobile game.
Well, Genshin Impact, it can be.
It can be, but it's a console game.
Yeah,
and a
pretty
PC
much.
game. It's like, oh no, we've hit the AAA gacha game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which reminds me, actually, the Near Reincarnation game came out like in the last 2 weeks, so I need to give that a go.
Is that the mobile phone one?
Yeah, apparently it's getting good reviews for the story. So,
but what about the game?
I don't know. I
okay.
know nothing about it. Like, when it comes to a Nier product or a Yoko Taro product, I do not engage until I start playing with it.
That's fair, because it's probably weird.
Yep, it's probably
as is the way.
You know, like, I was thinking about Nier actually during the week, and just like, if you were to ask me if Nier Replicant was a good game, I would edge to a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
But once you talk about the narrative and the world building and stuff, like, it's just like the Yoko Taro effect. It's just elevated. Like, and I don't think the Nier Replicant story is nearly as well as told as the Automata story either. So,
I could believe that.
It's still like a great story with great characters. Like,
yeah. I still haven't got it yet. I'll need to. I'm waiting for it to go on sale, because I think you told me that I would probably enjoy it more on a sale rather than the £49-50 it is at the moment or whatever.
Oh yeah, you are definitely a buy on sale, because if you bought full price, especially with how they structure the routes A, B, C, D, E, I can see the Andy response.
The anger.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mikey, we do have Transformers to talk about this week, believe it or not. We're going to start off with third-party woo-woo, and I'm going to be kicking us off with the Alien Attack toys. We haven't, and I don't feel we've heard from them for a while. It feels like it's been a bit.
The last one I think they did was what?
Don't.
Oh
no.
God, was it an Optimus? Was it a movie? Because they do a lot of movie stuff, don't they?
I think they're primarily movie stuff. I mean, that's what they're doing here.
Oh no! Do you know what the last is? Am I right? Am I right here?
I don't know.
I'm going to double check this, but I think the last Alien Attack toy might have been the optional girl. Let me see. Yeah, the last Alien Attack toy we talked about was the Optimus Prime movie girl.
Oh, well, technically it's still a movie toy.
Yeah,
Sorta.
with a beach towel.
Yeah, which isn't out yet, right? It's still coming.
Pre-order is still up, due out in November 2021.
It's still a great shame Jobby ain't gonna get her.
Yeah, but I always find it unusual when you see someone who like collects a lot of Japanese figures and then won't buy a Transformer that doesn't transform. It's just strange to me.
You know, people have their limitations, I guess. But Alien Attack Toys are doing the AAT-05 and AAT-04. One's called Manticore, and the other one is not got a name, but it is Dark of the Moon, Crowbar, and Crankcase. Maybe they're both called Manticore. Maybe they come in together. I'm not sure. One has a name, one doesn't.
They're 5 and 4, so presumably they're different.
You'd think so. Yeah, it seems to suggest, but there isn't like a separate name for them, at least in the story here. Regardless, these are Masterpiece scale. If you're interested, they're going to be 19 centimeters tall. They're all about them CMs. The figures include all of Crowbar and Crankcase's weapons. You know, I can't remember them offhand. We'll look at them as we go through the images.
I recognize.
If you were to ask me what they were, I'd say I don't know.
I don't recognize the gun. I do recognize the weird spiky things, because there's a scene when they throw that into Ironhide.
That's right. Yeah, I hadn't looked at the photos just yet, but like I say, we'll talk about them. These guys were known as the Dreads, if people remember them, because they weren't named in the movie. They're only named in the toys because, they were cannon fodder. So we do have some images. They turn into black SUV police cars, I suppose. And they transform into robots with the 4 eyes, big old jaws, and the big old predator-like dreadlocks or wires that come out their back and whatnot. And like Mikey said, one of them has the spike battens. The other has weird pistols and spike battens. And is that it? I think that's it. I don't think they come with any extra weapons. Oh, he's got guns as well. They've both got weird guns.
Yeah. No sign of Hatchet, the 4-legged one.
No, maybe that one's going to be coming later. It's not mentioned, at least here, so maybe they're just going for the easier, like, humanoid ones, and then they'll do the more feral 4-legged one later on. But what do you think, Mikey? Don't ask me which one's which, but which one stands out more to you? The one with the wires coming out of its back, or the one coming out of its head?
Crankcase is...
The one with the dreads coming out of its head.
The one with that looks like it's actually hair. And
yeah.
Crowbar is the one with the fang, with the like underjaw, and it's on more like back tails.
Yeah. Okay. Well, which one do you prefer? Which one?
I'd say Crowbar, which I'm assuming is Manticore. I've always preferred that head design.
Okay.
And I like the like I said, it looks more like tails, and I've always liked I like sort of like prehensile back pieces and stuff like that, just as an aesthetic. I'm just scrolling through. Looks like there's more shared parts between them than I would have expected.
Yeah, they've got a good job like hiding the similarities, if that's the case. But you're probably right. It's probably why they're both coming out at the same time.
I don't like the chest in either.
No, I mean, is it
too
because
blocky?
It's bitty?
It's too blocky.
Oh, okay, right.
Their profiles are more humanoid, and these are just like, it's very clear to me these are fake pieces that are just there covering up. Which is something I like thinking back. Alien Attack Toys frequently has problems with designing the movie figures' chests. Because they tend to make them quite bulky and square. Because like the chest makes especially Crowbar's arms look a wee bit too small.
Oh, okay.
Overall, I think they look decent. The thing is, I don't like the dreads in general. Like,
I know.
as far as movie designs go, they're some of my least favorite. And like they're only memorable because they're in the one scene where Ironhide really does anything in the films.
I think the issue with them is it doesn't really help that they're just grey metal, grey and
black and grey with some brown.
It's something that we've always had an issue with, specifically with the Decepticons, which was from like movie 1 to what was it, movie 4 or something. They never really got any color to them.
I'd say, yeah, because even then, like the Last Night, they weren't particularly colorful. Like a few of them had a bit of extra color, but. Like the movies in general, like that was their big aesthetic crime. Like there's not enough color, too much broken up parts, and that's one of the things about the Age of Extinction aesthetic that worked better because they had large slabs of color, which meant like everyone could at least be identified like very quickly visually.
Yes,
which is something that was always a struggle with the other ones. Yeah, I'm not super excited by these. Like, Alien Attack Toys, from what I understand, do really good work in terms of transformation. But, these are designs I'm not crazy about.
Sure.
They're characters that have no character, and there's just not much. And there's an aesthetic quality from the company that's not working for me, so...
I guess at the very least, it's good for movie fans because I don't think there's been a huge amount of releases for the Dreads.
No,
so this is a great way to get a Dread.
Apart from the couple of Studio Series figures, that's it, and they weren't great.
Have they had? Because I remember they obviously had original releases back around Dark of the Moon, but they've had Studio Series ones as well.
Around Last Night, because one of these bodies was used in Last Night as Berserker, if I remember right.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
And so he got a toy, and it wasn't very good. And then that got retooled into Crowbar, and it wasn't very good. And it got repainted into Crankcase, and it still wasn't very good.
Oh, okay. Well, bummer.
Fuck. So it had a lot of tab problems, from what I understand.
Okay, I get you. Yeah, I guess that can happen. So at least now it's another opportunity for people to get some Dreads. The Hatchet one that you mentioned probably will be coming out at some point. So that's cool. Especially if you're into that Masterpiece size, which obviously the Studio Series ones don't really go for. They're more in guess toy scale, if that's the thing more than anything else. But there you go. Alien Attack Toys, they're slow in producing figures, but it seems like they do good ones for what they are. So I guess it's worth the wait.
People definitely like them.
Yeah. Mikey, do you want to take us on to the next bit of news?
So, X-Transbox have revealed grey prototype images of Abaddon, which is their Masterpiece scale Galvatron G1, of course.
Now, do you say Abaddon or do you say Abaddon? Because some people like to say Abaddon because, he's Abaddon.
He's Abaddon, but that's not mythological figure. It's not Abaddon.
I mean, that's how I've always said it.
It literally is Abaddon. It's one of the mythological devils, but it's Abaddon.
I always cringe a little when I hear Abaddon, because I know in Warhammer 40k, like, some people say it's Abaddon, but I always I'm sure they call him Abaddon because it just sounds better, doesn't it? Abaddon sounds better than Abaddon.
Like, Abaddon is either a mythological place related to destruction, or it's a fallen angel. It's an archangel of the thing. Yeah, so it's one of those like multi-concept things, but it's Abaddon. Yeah. It is not Abaddon.
Unless specifically told by the people using said name, I guess.
Who are dead for about
no. I mean for
years.
the fiction things. I mean for the fictional things.
Even I'll still correct them.
No, my version's Abaddon. No, it's wrong.
Not. You're wrong, and you need to reconsider your life. So, anyway, Abaddon is a G1 style Galvatron. He is Masterpiece scale, but his aesthetic is kind of cartoon meets mildly original.
And kind of comic. When I say comic, I mean like the expression on his face.
Yeah, he's got some design features, like simple things like the knee pads. Like the legs are not cartoon accurate.
No.
They've definitely been redesigned, and the central body looks fairly cartoony, but yeah, like they've just some proportions and some aesthetic choices are clearly supposed to be like at least semi-stylized. He scales with current MP, so he's slightly taller than MP Megatron. He's got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle face. Articulation, if you remember the old Turtle toys, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yes.
Articulation wise, he's got all the basics. He's also got a bit of an ab crunch. He looks like his shoulders are a little unusual in how they work, but I'm not sure about that. He will come with one effect part for his gun mode. We do not see his cannon mode. We do not see how that works. And we do not see if he has alternate face options. It would be unusual to have something like that expression and not to get alternate faces, but...
Yeah, because it's usually always the standard face for the most part.
Neutral faces are kind of a thing.
Not that I think that it would be out of the realms of possibility to not give Galvatron a neutral face, because he's insane, so...
Yeah, I wouldn't mind I don't mind if this is the only option.
Yeah. Do you think the face design is meant to be from the part in the movie where he's got the Matrix around his chest and he's like we should be allies, and the Unicron's like, no, fucking kill him, and then he grimaces? Do you think it's that expression that they're going for?
I'm not sure.
I think it might be. I could be wrong. Let us know.
I'm actually googling Galvatron facial expressions.
Galvatron grimace. Ooh.
Yeah, that was the first thing I put in, Galvatron grimace, but it just yeah. Do you know what it's gotten me? Galvatron grimace has gotten me an infinite number of pictures of B4 second Galvatron.
Oh, I mean, that's not wrong.
The ultimate Transformer Ninja Turtle.
Yes, yeah.
Because he talks like that.
I was going to say, the mouth is always like that. Yep. What a liberty they took in the cartoon or the anime. Fuck it, he'll always talk like that.
Yeah, I just love that. Well, yeah, the only time I ever remember his mouth opening in the anime was in the movie, and there was a side shot.
Oh my god.
And he was yelling at Lio Convoy, and his mouth opened, and I remember going like, oh shit.
It's like opening Pandora's box. You don't do it. Don't do it.
But yeah, so what do you think of this guy, Andy?
You know, X-Transbots doesn't usually do it for me. I'm not saying that this is like my load from the PP is all over the table or anything like that.
Lovely.
But I do think it's more... Yeah, that's right. I do think this is more visually successful as a Galvatron, especially as a cartoon-ish. We'll say ish. We'll add the ish. A cartoon-ish Galvatron. There are some parts I don't like. I don't like the elbow joints. You know, when you look at the elbow joints from the front, it looks a bit ugly. from how they've made that. Like you said as well, the way that the legs and the knee pads have kind of worked themselves look a bit on the wonky side as well. I do like the face. I do like the chest. The cannon for his the fusion cannon for his arm again looks nice. It is concerning, in a mild way, that they haven't shown the cannon mode at all. Who knows how good or terrible that's going to look. Hopefully it'll look good. But I think it looks like a fairly solid Galvatron, I guess. It would be nice to see him stood next to other third-party Galvatrons just to, have a better idea of how he's came out. And it's quite bold for them to paint him in the Marvel Comics color scheme for the first release.
Are they doing that?
No, it's because it's all in grey. Because it's prototype. I made a funny.
I'm disappointed because I'd like that.
I'd
like that.
I made another funny.
yeah. But yeah, none of his joints work for me. None of them.
Okay.
We see his.
You mean
knee
how
joints.
they look?
Yeah, how they look when they're moving. We see his knee joint in one shot from the side where also you can see they've got his head turned and it's just like he's staring into his shoulder pylon.
Yeah, I hadn't even noticed the knee, to be honest. And I'm looking at that now going, oh no.
And the knee and the elbow has that as well, and the shoulder. None of the actual jointing on him looks good to me. The aesthetic works. I think giving him the slimmer legs was a good idea.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's a nice touch. I like the effect part. It looks insane. But and I'd like to see how he'll look like painted up in physical and everything else. Sure. But I think he looks decent, and I do like the face sculpt a lot. I think that's gives this a lot of identity and character. Apparently this was originally announced back in 2015.
Fuck off, really?
Yeah, so MX4 Abaddon.
6 years.
Yeah, I'm just...
Holy hell.
Wow. The face they were going to go with back then is a wee bit different. But
was it worse or better?
I will show you, Andy, and you can tell me.
Oh no, that means it's worse.
I would call this clearly made post-Wreckers.
Oh.
And you'll guess why when you see it.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh, this one's coloured as well.
Yeah, and...
he's got some lips on him. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a lot of it's changed. Like, the chest is completely different, and the side skirts are different.
Oh!
Weird.
Oh, random thing since I mentioned it. Post-Wreckers. Did you see actually, yeah, they've redesigned a fair bit of this guy, actually. I'm gonna... If you look at the actual thread...
Maybe they've just used the transformation shell and then reworked it, I guess.
They were this original version came with a lot of different face options. But did you I'm sure you saw this because I think I retweeted it. James Roberts admitted that at some point they were talking about doing an animated movie for Wreckers, Last End of the Wreckers.
All right.
On Twitter this week, and I did a lot of blinking.
I didn't see that.
We got what? And
why? What was the info on that?
Just someone was saying oh god, I wish we could have gotten an animated movie of Wreckers, and James just said okay, we were talking about it.
But it never happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was just thinking no, we got Prime Wars probably about the time that would have been released.
Yeah, maybe it was just as well that we didn't get a Last Stand of the Wreckers thing.
I would have taken it over Prime Wars.
Yeah, but it might have been of the same quality as Prime Wars. Well, can you imagine a good story like Last Stand of the Wreckers getting butchered? No one would have been happy with that.
No, but
I would have been.
The
much
writing
more in the
would
camp
have to be better. The writing could not be worse because it's an adaptation.
Yeah, you can still fuck up an adaptation's writing really badly.
True.
We've seen ample attempts at. Well, we've seen ample versions of that when we've seen adaptations into cartoons and whatnot from DC in their animated films. Sorry, it's true.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just saw that and I just thought, but yeah, the thread I sent you should show you what the cannon mode at least was going to look like.
Yeah, which it might still, because that version looks quite similar to this. The first one, not as much. The second link that you showed me, there's definitely it even has the same face in there.
Yeah, and the effect part as well.
That's right. Yeah, so it's there's probably a bit more similarities. I hope it's not the case, because that is a very that cannon mode needs to go on a run and start eating the salads, I think.
I mean, let's be honest, Galvatron's cannon modes always basically look the same.
Yeah, I mean, because it's really hard to pull off that cannon mode from the show.
Has anyone ever pulled it off?
No, no, because you can't. Just because if you want to get robot proportions, you can't really slim it down to the point where it's a very slender, like, smooth-looking future cannon. That was the problem with that cannon mode. It does such crazy mass shifting. I'm not sure it's physically possible without some crazy engineering gods doing some crazy stuff to it to have just panels fold in on themselves.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you wouldn't think that initially.
No. Yeah, you really have to look at the cannon mode and just be like, wow, look at how slender it is, really.
I mean, I'm still holding out for someone showing some sense of doing the IDW tank Galvatron, but that'll never happen because God's dead.
That's true.
But that was a really cool design, and I would love... Again, it's kind of like I want Soundwave to be vehicles now. I don't want Soundwave to be a tape thing. I just want it to have 4 wheels and be kind of an SUV thing.
I'm going to 5-brain this. He needs to be lamppost from now on.
No. You can't be lamppost because we're saving that for Signal Lancer.
but then he could have like a versus pack, the War of the Lampposts.
Soundwave versus Signal Lancer.
Exactly. They're having a covert op. It's just like they come with a little diorama as well, which is just a road.
And every time Soundwave transforms to attack, Signal Lancer changes his light.
Exactly. He's like, whoa.
Stop that. And Soundwave has to freeze.
Next time.
You'll turn green eventually.
You have to.
How have we not, after 15 years or nearly 20 years, not gotten a Signal Lancer?
Because, Mikey, the Unicron trilogy was shit on so much, and no one really ever wants to go out on a limb and do something like that. I think, didn't we get a garage? I think we got a garage of it like years and years ago at this point.
Maybe.
But that was about it.
But
or maybe it was a custom.
Was one of the best Transformers ever made.
And he was in not like maybe 30 seconds of the last episode of Galaxy Force where he did something.
There's an episode early on where like he's talking.
Yes, there's hinted at. It's like set up and then right at the end after 52 painful episodes.
Yeah, and then he gets this alt mode.
Transforms. He looks
great.
Yeah. He looks really cool.
Yeah, but like Signal Lance is great.
He's fun. But I guess you could say this, like, how long has it been since we got really any of the Unicron trilogy characters on just Optimus Prime and Megatron?
Well, next month, or next year, rather.
Yeah, we'll be getting them finally. Be interested to see what they're like, obviously. Yeah. Galvatron, though. Here we go.
Galvatron.
Yeah.
He looks fine.
Yeah. Shall I take it on, Mikey?
Yep.
Way, Shockwave Labs is doing the SL-112, the Metal Exhaust. This is an upgrade kit for, of course, MPM-12 Optimus Prime. So what do you get with this, Mikey? Well, let me tell you, my little boy. You get die-cast exhaust pipes. You get 2 of them. They're apparently easy to install, so even I could do them.
Even you?
Even me! With my stupid bum brain. You also get wrist articulation tighteners.
That's a bad sign.
That's a
very bad sign.
Yeah, that's not a good point to say about the quality of the original release. Apparently, these require you to disassemble the arms, which I guess makes sense if you gotta add in some little... they look just like rings that you add in, I guess, to the wrist. Yeah. Oh, no, they totally are. Yeah, you have to take apart the forearm, and then you add these little... I guess maybe they're rubber or something like that, latex or something like that, and you put them around the, what do you want to call them, the point where you attach the red part to the hand part, the wrist part, and that, I guess, will tighten it up and he won't have floppy hand syndrome. The metal smokestacks, I guess that's nice. It means you won't get bendy smokestacks, and they'll be a little bit tighter. It looks like they've got a nice shape to them, but this is a very lackluster upgrade kit, I would say. But maybe it's worth it for the tighter wrists, I guess, depending how severe they are. Did you know about these weak wrists?
No, I didn't pay an ounce of attention to this thing.
I thought you might have heard screaming, as one to do.
No, I'm afraid that we are all out of screaming.
Damn, shame. So yeah, maybe this is only worth it for that. But I know obviously there are people out there who like solid, good-looking stacks on their Optimus Primes. I get that. It doesn't really say how much this kit is. I would hope under £10. I think I am silly for hoping something like that from a kit.
You're a dreamer.
Because these are die-cast, so I mean, maybe that'll bump up the price, but you do not get a lot here. Like I say, you get the 2 smokestacks, and you get seemingly 4 wrist tighteners, which are like very small bits of rubbery plastic, so I would hope this is cheap, but I've no idea. Mikey, any thoughts on this?
Not a one.
Didn't think so. It's very basic, but maybe completely necessary. Mikey, do you want to take us on to a possible first look that might scare you?
Yeah.
It scared me.
Masterpiece are seemingly linked via the Chinese platform Tiba, which I believe is something we haven't encountered before. A possible first look at Shouki from Masterpiece Raiden. So Shouki is, if I remember right, the train bot. Yeah, he's the leader of the train bots. He forms. What does he form on the actual Raiden? I think he forms the upper torso.
No. Yeah.
Because him and Yukikaze form the actual like full body. So he's the head. He's the head section.
He's the leader, so that means he's also called Grimlock.
Yes, he is Grimlock, and he turns into Train Robo, or Robot Train, whichever one it was.
Is that what he was? I can't remember. Is that what they called him?
What was Raiden's name?
I can't remember.
Raiden.
Didn't they just call him Raiden? No, they didn't. No,
of course not. Of course
not.
And A.
No, I thought to myself, Raiden. No, that's not something they would have said. That was not something. Silly me. Not with Billy and Sparkles. No,
Billy
Raiden wasn't on the card.
Billy.
New Soundwave.
Oh dear. I'm just scrolling because I need to know now. Oh come on! How do you not have this, Star Dub? Give me information. Anyway, so this is the first shot. Now these are prototype images, so there's a lot of color missing. No, don't do that to me. So we get to see the alt mode, which is a bullet train, of course, and we get to see the robot mode. This is not a good shot of the robot mode.
No,
obviously. I like the proportions. I like the overall proportions, and I think the actual design could look really good. The worrying thing for me is that it looks like the entire side of the train is going to be clear plastic.
Yes.
Now, that will mean there's probably going to be a lot of paint on this guy.
Paint that could get scratched.
And I've seen some people go on about they think, oh no, stability issues. Considering that none of this looks to be on joints, like if you actually look at like the legs, he's got normal joints and normal like hard plastic joints underneath it, but then the plastic is forming the side of the train and the side of the arms. Since that's where they are, I wouldn't be worried about them breaking from joint movement or anything like that.
No, but they will be on pins, of course. Sure.
Raiden. Oh, hang on. Raiden was Grimlock.
So who was Shouki? I thought Shouki was...
I thought Shouki was Grimlock.
I thought he was Grimlock.
No, Shouki was just... Oh, they were just like train robots. They didn't give him names.
Oh.
But yeah, so the clear
plastic... Is that
plastic...
like me calling you the Irishman and not actually giving you a name?
The Irish.
You form Mikey when there's 5 of you, otherwise you're just one of the Irish.
For reference, some of these wonderful names, of course, Sound Blaster, New Soundwave.
Of course, good one.
Browning, BM.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Jan Minikaze, Mikon.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Dash Tacker, Batch Taster.
Batch Taster.
Detsaurus, Detsanras.
Sanras. Oh, from Victory, yes. Famous
Jinrai,
Sanras.
Optimus Prime.
That makes sense.
And of course, Spike Wiki, Sparkle, and Blur as Wally.
That's right.
Which I would honestly put money down. Wally is a really bad joke about Wally West.
Do you really think the South Koreans would have made a joke like that?
It
wasn't South Korea.
It was Hong Kong.
It was Hong Kong, sorry, okay. You really think they would have made a cut like that? Do you think the Hong Kong dub team would have done that?
Remember, like, it was founded by, like, Western peoples. So Rick Thomas...
Maybe.
Rick Thomas was a British Special Forces guy who lived in Hong Kong.
So why were there so many fucking terrible choices for names then?
I guarantee you, because they didn't have half these names. Like, they didn't have any of them, in fact.
Billy?
Billy! So I really think it's going to be like, these are in jokes to things they knew, because otherwise it's just like, we were pulling random names out of it. Then again, Jazz was named Marshall.
That's the thing, yeah.
Metroplex was Philip.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you're right. Maybe they just had like a bingo ball tumbler machine, and it's just like, this name, this'll do, I guess, whatever. Yeah. So Shouki.
Yeah.
It's a shame we don't have better pictures of him.
Yeah.
Like you said, he looks like he is actually decently proportioned. He looks like a decent figure, but like you say, I'm concerned with the amount of clear plastic on him, because that's
scratchable paint. I'm glad, considering Masterpiece's last 5 years of QC errors, I'm pretty glad I'm not seeing clear plastic joints.
Well, that we can see at least.
That we can see.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean like the plastic is stable, because then there was the Beast Wars Megatron, who didn't have clear plastic, but his groin did explode. For some reason, they decided to use the oldie gold plastic approach of swirling the plastic. Which is weird, because we got past the gold plastic syndrome stuff. Yeah. And then they decided to go back to it. On one of their most expensive toys. Yeah. It's bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. That makes sense. So hopefully Shouki will be solid. They're going to be releasing these individually, right? Or do you think they're going to be doing them as two packs? I don't know how they're going. Like, presumably they're going to be somewhere around Voyager scale if we're going with size classes. Surely, yeah. Maybe they'll be the same size as like the Datsuns and those scaled ones like Hot Rods. So I think they were, like you say, Voyager scale, weren't they? There was something like that, surely. Yeah. So... And how much were they? Were they about 60 each or more? Oh, they weren't in the hundreds. I remember that because they were smaller. Were up to 80, I think. But like Skids is going to be about that price. Oh, okay. So maybe these will either be 80 each, and there's 6 of them. Is that right? Yeah. So yeah, 400-ish. 400 for 400 Masterpiece Combiner. Official 420. 420. That would be. I guess that makes sense. I can see that happening. I can see them doing that. Like if they were selling it as a single pack as well, I wouldn't. I would be shocked if you could get this for under 500 in the US. Yeah, probably. To be fair, but then again, you paid that much for Optimus, and I think if that's the price range this goes into, I think you get a lot more for your money. Potentially, yeah. Because it'd be hard to get less for your money, in my opinion. But anyway, always bitter. Andy, me, take us on to the most important of leaks we've had yet in this horrible age where leaks are the worst thing to ever happen to mankind. Is that still a thing? Were people saying that? Yeah, they were? Yeah, this is still very much a thing. Really? Oh my god, I thought it would have calmed the fuck down. Okay. I'll mention these ones first because these came up on the Monday after me and Jason had finished recording because, fuck me and the podcast, I guess. And fuck Jason. More listings were discovered for the Legacy/Evolution line. We have the Deluxe Crankcase Point Black, not Point Break or anything like that. I was going to say that they might mean Point Blank. It says black. So maybe they've lost the license for the name or had to change it for reasons. Or maybe the computer typing up was incorrect. Who knows? And the last one is a Leader 1. These are all deluxes because they're all priced on the system as $22.99. Mikey, any with these? I would like to see a new Elita. Sure, also, because the one that they're using for the Wolf Cybertron one was just the RC mold with the new head, wasn't it? She's apparently, it's not even a good, it's a bad mold that is suffering from mold degradation by the time you get to Elita. Oh, God. So she's got loose joint syndrome and stuff like that. Okay. Point Blank, I'm going to call it Point Blank, I'm sorry. It's wise, yes. Yeah. And Crankcase, Crankcase could be quite interesting. I've always, obviously, I think he's the last of the scavengers to be done. Apart from the horrible tiny woman who was a monster and we all need to recognize it. But so for people who've been collecting the scavengers for the last 5 or 6 years, they're your last one.
But I like Crankcase's design. I like the trigger con design, so it should be
they
quite
were
fun.
always kind of neat. They had issues when their trigger things broke back in the day, but they're very cool looking.
And we live in a time where gimmicks don't happen. So
no, thank God.
I'm trying. Is Point Blank the red Target Master?
Here's the problem, Mikey.
Red and blue.
The Autobot Target Masters are so fucking boring.
To be fair,
that they all blend together for me.
They didn't really. I'm trying to think. Did the Autobot Target Masters get much in terms of characterization in anything? Like even in Headmasters, like they show up, but they're there because they have little. The guns get more really in terms of peoplehood, and the guns are basically just like little beeping things going like beep 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 beep.
Yeah, the Decepticon ones, the Decepticon Target Masters always got something. I think you might be right about the Autobot ones not getting shit, even in the Headmaster show. Yeah. I think the Decepticon Target Masters got maybe not a lot, but they got a lion's share versus the Autobot ones.
Yeah, I'm looking like okay, so Autobot Target Masters, Blur, Cup, Hot Rod don't count.
Yeah.
Crosshairs, Point Blank, and Sure Shot.
Sure Shot's the yellow one. I know that.
Point Blank never got anything character-wise or of any significance, and no one does. Crosshairs, who's also the red and black one.
Which one was the moon buggy and which one looked like the race car?
They're both red and blue. They're just different shapes. Okay, and the racy car one is Point Blank, and the moon buggy is Crosshairs.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and Crosshairs is the one that got redone from
from Ironhide, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And Sure Shot is the yellow one, and he's never done anything, even in IDW. He's a weird space race car. And in the Decepticons in that first line, it's Cyclonus, Scourge, Trigger Happy, who has had a small bit, Misfire, who's had loads, and Slugslinger, who hasn't had as much.
But you know him. You still know him visually.
Yeah,
I think they're a lot more visually memorable. The only one I really remember from the Autobots is Sure Shot because he's bright yellow and it's a pretty cool car. Like the other two, just it sucks that they're both the same fucking color scheme. I think that's the problem with Point Blank and Crosshairs. They're the same fucking color scheme. One just has slightly darker blue than the other one.
Yeah, and it basically the placement swapped over.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a bad idea. Not a good call.
Yeah, so I want to see how that turns out. Not the most exciting one. Elita, I would like not to go for the Super G1 looking Elita. One, because that has no alt mode and therefore will never work.
No, I think it might work because you could do fucking anything with it.
Not if you want her to look like that cartoon model. Because but like I just say like bulk her up, make her a bit more IDW in terms of proportions, and then give her something.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, I'm the only person I think who likes the Power of the Primes Elita because it's a fucking beast of a thing. It looks like it's a ridiculous toy and it looks awful as Starscream, but as like big beefy Elita, I've always liked it.
I didn't. I think it looked a little bit crappy, just because it was clearly a Starscream, and it wasn't a very good transforming into a plane thing. There was a lot of undercarriage kind of issue that we always have with a lot of the jets. So
I'd still say better than the Siege Seekers.
I mean, woo, right? Woo.
But like she pulled off the giant legs way better than Starscream did.
It did definitely look better as her, but I still think it wasn't the greatest toy for her, especially because her design in the comic was a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you know.
And I really like Elita in the comic because she was written by Margaret and John.
It was different. There was something interesting about her.
Yeah, she was a fucking monster.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they're like cool. Like I want to see them. Obviously, it's more about like those are three characters I would like to see get good toys. So.
Yeah, there was also found out on the Target listing a Transformers Prime. There's specifically Transformers Prime Knockout for the $22.99 price point, so that's good.
I care more about that than anything I've heard in the last 6 months to do with Transformers, I'll be honest.
I have zero hope for it, because that means if it comes out and it's good, I'll be happy, and it means if it comes out and it's terrible, I can just go, oh well, there you go.
Yeah, but I want a Knockout.
Because in my head, I see the price point. It says Transformers Prime Knockout, but in my head, I'm still going, you mean for the red line, don't you? That's what you really mean. that's not the price point it's at either. But I'm waiting for someone to just slide in and say, no, it was for the red. Sorry, we made a mistake. And I go, okay, it's better than nothing, but okay.
Our high quality line.
Have you got an RC yet? Are you still looking for one?
No, honestly, I've kind of given up because one, they're way overpriced.
Yes, yeah, I remember you saying that they were being scalped for some reason.
And they are everything I hear about the quality of the red line. It's just like, how did Hasbro make something that bad?
Especially when they're used to making figures. This is what I've said so many times. They make action figures and yet they make a shit one. What the fuck?
Yep.
What are you doing? So yeah, Knockout may be coming. If it's actually Transformers Prime Knockout, it's actually transforming Knockout, and it actually looks cool. That's great. Fantastic. It's about fucking time, because its original release was...
I loved it because it was him.
I think that's the kindest thing you can say. It wasn't a terrible toy. It's just very disappointing, and it's not the toy that you wanted for him. You wanted a better figure.
Yeah, if you want that mold, you get Crockout.
And even then...
Yeah. But again, you get it because it's a Crockout. You don't necessarily get it because it's good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And the last is a bundle of listings discovered on Target once again. Target dropping all the shit. They're dropping the Rise of the Beasts Legacy as well as Studio Series. And Mikey will help me decipher the... yeah, well, that's why you're here. You're here to help me. I'm not going to say... I'm not saying you'll be useful. You're just here to help. So let's go through it. Okay, so we've got 3 Rise of the Beast. Well, actually, we'll go down the list. Otherwise, it's going to be faff. So we've got Transformers Alpha, which is listed at... I'm just going to round up as well. If it ends with 99, I'm just going to round up. Because it's easy. Yeah. So $16, Rise of the Beast, Transformers Alpha. We've also got George Transformers, which is $9.99, and George Transformers, which is $21.99. What the fuck? What's Transformers Alpha? What's Transformers George? And what's Transformers George, Mikey? Is it our friend George?
George, it could be George as a Transformer. I mean, he probably appreciate that. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing the last George is the deluxe.
Yes, that's wise. Yeah,
but
the other one's like a legend or whatever they call the legends.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's like wondering what the fuck are we talking about, it's not uncommon for before like names are fully licensed or stuff like that for Transformer characters to be given just random ass names so they can be entered into systems and stuff like that. So like George is probably not going to be what the character is called in the film if it's named at all, because boy, there's a lot of names in here which is making me.
There sure are a lot of names.
Because that's what this film needed. Many people.
I'm sure they will be fully developed and realized characters, Mikey. Don't worry about it.
We're learning from Bumblebee. Are you?
No, I think it's just we're learning from the movies in general.
We're learning from the fact that...
all of them.
We're learning from the fact that Bumblebee did make a profit and we learned the wrong lessons.
What could go wrong? Have they had Michael Bay back again?
Oh, don't.
Wouldn't that be funny? It's like, oh, wow, Bumblebee didn't do too bad, actually. Get Michael Bay back in.
Yeah,
no.
Or listen,
Why?
It's bad enough you've got Lorenzo going, like, really, it's about showing how Optimus became the leader we know him to be. And no one's reaction to that was not how he became a murdering psychopath.
You know what would be good? You know how we save this movie, Mikey? If the movie is actually the episode of Babylon 5 where John Sheridan is being interrogated, but it's Prime and it's with like a Decepticon interrogator like Stalker or something, and you just do that as a movie, and you go, so that's why Prime's a fucking psychopath, because they just broke him mentally after torturing him for so long.
I just love I love when people, specifically Lorenzo, just come out and try to say like Optimus is a hero, like such a good and heroic figure in the movie that I'm just like, dude, you okayed everything that was in this film. Come on, man. Come on, just own it.
He never saw the film. There's no way he saw the film.
I don't think he's ever seen any of the films.
I thought you were just going to say, there's no way he's ever seen a film.
Oh, no. Also that, because... No.
He's never seen one.
No. So I don't like Deluxe, Core Class.
Yes.
Something else. Maybe
Voyager,
a gimmick line toy.
Oh, yeah, that's an idea.
I think a 16 would be gimmick, would be my guess.
Mm-hmm. There's a Studio Series figure at $149, so I assume that's Legend scale, and it says Spike Transformers.
Honestly, I think that's going to be an exosuit Spike.
That would make sense. It is weird to see like a studio series at that price point because we haven't seen anything like under a deluxe at this point for studio series.
But he'd be quite small.
Yes, he'd have to be, which makes sense. But it's weird to see because it's just out of, it's odd for that line because we've never seen it before, anything of that scale. Safari Transformers, which is Rise of the Beasts again, so hopefully it'll be Lord Chumley. He's at $10.99. I
was going to say a Maximal or a Predacon or something like that, but no, I would rather have Lord Chumley.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be amazing if halfway through the movie Lord Chumley and that bloody butler shows up.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it won't be, but it would be great.
The booby trap. We could get the line. A booby trap that actually catches boobies.
That'd be fun.
Oh my god, you've referenced so much shit and forced so many bad lines and forced me to hear One Shall Stand, So One Shall Fall for about 11, 12 years now. Just give me this.
You could even justify it with like the birds, the booby birds, the birds that are called boobies. You could have like him as a hunter who catches boobies and he says, it's my booby trap. And you go, oh, that's a reference.
Yeah.
They won't.
It would. Hey, we're doing a movie about beast modes. Throw in a poacher.
Yeah, why not?
Make a human...
Even if it's a small bit. Really small.
Just a gag.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Megatron with a shotgun. The elephant transforms and shoots Megatron. No. Don't do that. We've also got in Legacy this time for $50. So lead to scale Blitzwing. I think if you're going to do a triple changer, leader scale makes sense. It means he won't have a shitty trailer or accessories to beef up a Voyager. So that's
I don't know. You said that, and I would just like to remind you of leader Astro Train.
Oh no, you're right. He came with that stupid trailer thing.
Because everyone forgot about Astro Train.
Yeah.
Also, everyone's forgotten about Octane. Like, Octane has no toys. Recently.
Yeah, the last one he had was the one from Titan's Return, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was a decent-ish figure. It wasn't perfect,
I liked that. Like I had
I
recently sold the G2 Optimus version of it, but
nice.
But like I had that for years, and like somehow I managed to get one where the stickers were perfect.
Oh wow! Okay, that's lucky.
And all the time I had it, I never had any problem with the stickers.
Wow.
And I liked that mold. Like the jet was atrocious, but the truck was great.
Yeah, the truck was great, and I think the robot was pretty successful as well. It looked solid, and I like the idea that they had for you could like, especially when the Japanese did the Legends version, and when you could basically make Ghost Starscream out of it. I was like, that's very cool. That's very cool. There's also Journey Transformers from Rise of the Beast for $11. There's also 2 Orion Transformers, one at 11 and one at 16.
Some people pronounce it Orion.
Who says that? Did I say it wrong?
I'm playing off the Abaddon thing.
Oh, see, I was going off the I'm stupid and can't read, which is a thing. That's a thing. So I was like, have I just read this wrong? And Mikey's just calling me on this. Shit, damn, a hardcore. There's also Cyclops Transformers, plural on both Cyclops and Transformers for $22. Shockwave. I guess that makes sense. But again, for Rise of the Beasts,
well, no matter what Lorenzo's saying, we're all kind of hoping it's still like it's not a continuity thing. It's its own. It's following on from Bumblebee. It's ignoring everything else, and that's fine. It's pulling an X-Men First Class where we all pretend it's got any form of continuity whatsoever. But so like just do a Shockwave, stick him on Earth. No one will care.
Yep, sure. I mean, even if he's in the movie, this could be one of those things like Wreckage from the first Transformers movie.
Oh, don't say that. I loved Wreckage. Wreckage was my favorite movie 1 toy.
He was a very good toy, but he wasn't in the film.
No, he wasn't. He should have been.
Those things. He should have been.
I bought a comic,
and he had color. He was actually colored.
I bought a comic based entirely on the fact that Wreckage was in it.
Oh, I just got the toy. It was one of those things where it's like, I want all the movie toys, and then I got them, and I was like, these are interesting.
God.
And then later.
That was the words we used back then. Interesting.
Yes.
The movie came out just as I was getting into like Transformers toy shopping seriously.
Yeah.
So I had like Blackout and Ironhide. I had like everyone I could get my hands on.
Do you remember feeling like you got Blackout and you were like, this is okay?
I remember thinking like, why does it feel like he's already broken? Because that bloody automorph gimmick on him always broke.
Yeah,
it never worked.
No.
So I could never, and like I had an Ironhide and I never was able to get him back into alt mode.
Oh my god, he was such a pain in the ass to transform that Ironhide. A lot of those movie 1 figures were just a pain in the ass. Wreckage was one of the few that wasn't a piece of shit.
He was simple, direct. He had a nice face sculpt, nice look, good colors.
Yeah, his actual overall look didn't look too out of whack. With the like he looked like a movie toy, but he didn't look like a messy movie toy like a lot of them did.
He looked a bit more like a Bumblebee movie toy, actually.
No, oddly enough, yeah, I think you might be right, to be fair. Anyway, there's also another George Transformer, another Cyclops Transformer, both of these at $32. There's also a Megatron Transformer. This is at $10 for Legacy, so it's probably going to be another one of the legend scale ones of some description.
Yeah,
there's Transformers Barcelona,
Barcelona,
which is our favorite for 11. Sorry, for 16.
Hang on, Barcelona is our favorite. Why do we love Barcelona?
Because it's a fun word. I don't know. I've got nothing, Mikey. There's also Oscar Transformer, 22. Hot Rod Transformers.
The odd couple. Good.
Yes. Well, I was thinking the Grouch, but you know.
Is that why it's Oscar and George? No, it's Oscar and Felix. That was the odd couple.
I don't know him, I'm afraid. There's also Hot Rod Transformers, which is at $10 for Legacy, so another small Legends Optimus. Rodimus. Or Hot Rod. Even closer. There's also Warrior Transformers, which is back to... why didn't they order these? Why didn't they order them into Rise of the Beasts and then Legacy? That would have been easier.
It would make more sense.
Never mind. So another Warrior Transformer at $11. There's MV7 Deluxe Outlaw for Rise of the Beasts at $23. These prices seem to go everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere. Alpha Transformers at $10. Rise of the Beast.
I mean, maybe I because he's in this quite a bit, and I saw the roleplay one, like roleplay blaster. I would say Alpha might be Prime.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that I could see that. Do you want to know another reason why Rise of the Beast is a bad name for the movie?
Why?
Because of the acronym.
RTUB.
Yep. Why is that bad, do you think?
RTUB.
What's the acronym for the second movie, Mikey?
RTUF.
Yeah.
RTUB. Yep.
One letter. They're very close to each other. Revenge of the Fallen, Rise of the Beast.
RTUF.
Little close, if you ask me. Never mind, though. There's also Dead End for Legacy, which continues on being 23, which we kind of know about. We mentioned ages ago that the Stunticons were coming for the Legacy line, so again, that's okay, makes sense.
Cool. I like Dead End.
Yeah. I hope they look very cartoony, because they didn't when we got them in the Combiner Wars line. So if they look more like the actual cartoon, I'm actually happy with that, because we haven't had that, so it's a bit different. We've also got MV7 Deluxe Pluto, George, Barcelona, and Titan. And also a roleplay blaster Alpha. Like you said, the Alpha probably means Prime. That makes sense. And the Deluxes are each $23, which makes sense. And then there's a 2-pack Transformers BB MV7 Energon, which is $27. So, Mikey, any of these things that really stand out to you as weird things? Or
Not
cool
really.
Things,
I mean, cool. It's difficult considering most of them are just like guys you meet. They are startup names.
Yeah.
Not much to really say. Dead End sounds good. Megatron's not a surprise. Hot Rod's not a surprise. No. Apart from that, it's just like wait and see who these guys are. And like seeing who they are will not mean as much as seeing what they look like.
No, that's true. But you did actually want to throw in your thoughts. So I think it's fair to ask you your thoughts on what me and Jason talked about last week with some of the figures. So we may as well cover that now if you like.
Might as well. Yeah, I'll do that. Because we had like quite a few leak names last week.
Yeah, were there any that really stood out to you in particular?
I'm just looking through. So Dragon Megatron I think could be good.
Yes, hopefully.
Hopefully. Because I'd like an improved... Like, as much as we all like the old toy, it is, shall we say, flawed.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to have, like, a dragon neck that isn't, like, a wibbly-wobbly mess.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense why they made it an action gimmick back in the day, but it's, not great.
Armada Starscream, that's a design I like, but it's never had a toy that worked for me because either it's very gimmick heavy or it's too small and the plastic wasn't great. So doing a Voyager-sized one, I think, is a good idea.
Yeah.
Bulkhead, that's another one. Hopefully it's Prime Bulkhead. I'd like animated. Because I'd like if this was like Legacy is supposed to be like the hey, we're referencing everything line. I'd like if it was animated. Yeah. But I think it's very likely they'd do Prime.
I think it makes sense, especially if they're doing Prime Knockout as well.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably easier designs to work with than animated, I think, as well, to be fair.
Just because of the proportions and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah, 100%.
And that was the weird thing about the animated toys. When they got it right, they got it pretty much on the spot. It's just like when they didn't, they just were always just like, poor Starscream.
Well, to be fair, we've always said, you and I've always said it was like the first few waves of the toys until they got into the groove of things and then they got better. Like, you compare the first Prowl to the Ninja Prowl is amazing. Like, the first Prowl's not bad, but there's a massive shift in quality between those two, and there's only like maybe a year between them, maybe less.
It's just a shame, like, characters like Prime and Starscream were never revisited properly.
Starscream especially, because they just keep churning the mold out again and again for the repaints, which is a shame.
Like, fortunately, Megatron, that once they did Helicopter Megatron, it just was like that was just great from the start.
Wasn't it cool that we got Marauder Megatron? And wasn't it cool that we got like a good release of Blackout?
Good worldwide release of Blackout.
Yeah, he's not super expensive.
Or Hotshot, the best Hotshot design they ever did. Or Cyclonus.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking, like, which ones are you talking about? Yeah, no. We saw them in the show, but we never actually got figures.
The Team Char one.
Yeah.
But they had the prototype done for him. That was the annoying
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Marauder Megatron was so good.
He looked ace.
He was so fucking good.
At least with Marauder Megatron not coming out, it made sense because he wasn't in the show.
No, but he could have been, because there should have been another fucking series.
Yeah. But to be fair, at least they went on to Prime.
Yes. And Prime was excellent. It was nice to have two good shows in a row, to be completely blunt. Agreed. Which is something of a rare experience now. We seem to be more like the Kamen Rider approach of great, not so great. Great, not so great.
Mm-hmm.
And the great ones at the moment are just like very stylized, could turn people off.
Yes.
Okay, so Tarantulas and Skids, Dragstrip, blah, 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 blah. Kickback could be fun. I like a deluxe size Kickback could be fun.
What about Inferno, Mikey?
Please be the right one. That's all I'm going to say.
Like I said to Jason, why would it be Inferno the fire truck again?
Like, if they're doing a repack of Kingdom Inferno, who no one talks about ever.
No.
It is the least discussed Kingdom toy I know of.
Really?
I haven't heard any conversation about it.
You know what's sad? I can see, like, you make that joke, and I'm like, Mikey, that's ridiculous. They wouldn't do that. And then I think, well, they did it for RC. So it could happen. And they did it for Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
For Kingdom. So it's like, I don't want it.
RC, hopefully that's Prime RC as well. Like, that's the rumored one.
Yeah.
Which, if it's Prime RC, I am all fucking in, because, again, like, why I wanted to buy the red one before prices went insane, even when I knew it wasn't supposed to be good, is because I will support that show until the day everyone else dies, because I'm going to live forever.
Oh my god.
Because I'm going to have my head frozen and put in one of those jars like in Futurama.
Alright, Walt Disney, calm down.
Walt Disney. He's such
a... the rumours.
But like Prime RC, like, such a great character, such a good design. It'd be great to have an updated toy ever. What else was there? There was the listing for Soundwaves. Skybite, it's like a core class Skybite could be fun. And okay, so Galvatron here is a leader, which is again why I'm thinking like we might have some re-releases.
Yeah.
But like, let's go completely wild. Like, do a leader. Just because like you're doing legacy referencing, you're clearly referencing RID, you're referencing Armada. Mm-hmm. The rumor for. Did you hear the rumor from Metroplex?
No, I didn't actually. No.
Titan figure for the first year of Legacy is going to be Cybertron Metroplex, according to current talk.
You know, I was really hoping you were going to say a repaint of Metroplex, and I was like, Metro Titan. And
Yes,
like,
we'd all like that, but
I mean, I don't think I'd want it too much because I don't like that.
No,
that Fort Max figure.
A lot
or
of
that
people
Metroplex,
seemed annoyed when I was that it might be not a redo of Titans Metroplex, but I'm kind of like, are we just going to redo all the Titans now? If we go down that route, listen, I would much rather have. I don't even like Metroplex's design that much, but I have a weird affinity for him because when I started buying Transformers, it was when Cybertron was on shelves, and I went into Smith's once a week for about 3 months, right? They had a Metroplex there, the Ultra Class Supreme it was, I think then, Metroplex, and every week I'd go there and I'd pick him up, and I would look at him for a while, and I would like to the point where people would say like, "You're going to look at him again, are you?" Because they'd recognize me because they know God. I was thinking of I spent 3 months trying to see if I would buy him.
Okay.
I never did, but I spent 3 months looking at him because I'm just like, he's big, he's weird, but I don't like the design.
It was interesting, but yeah, it was like I tell you who I liked from that planet. I liked, what was his name, Motormaster, I think they called him, the big Decepticon guy with the drills.
Oh, Menasor.
Was that his name, Menasor?
Yeah,
okay,
Menasor.
Whichever one it was. I thought he looked neat, but I still never got him.
He was fun. But yeah, I'm just gonna like let's have some fun. Beast Wars Second Galvatron. Just have some fun. Like that's who I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
Because that's a great design, and I'd love to see an updated version.
I wouldn't mind seeing an updated Magmatron. I'm not sure how you do it successfully, but I like it.
Commander class, you'd have to do it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
or do it Voyager scale and leader. But even then.
I was like, could you do it without making it 3 separate robots? And I don't think you could. I don't think you could have it like as a purple T-Rex and then it unfolds out into looking like it has 2 other dinosaurs. I don't think that's possible. I think
like one of the fun things about Magmatron was how that worked.
Yes, agreed.
It was always a little delicate.
That was his problem. Yeah, I think overall,
I think I broke
of the figure, he looked great.
Yeah, I think I broke mine. Like broke apart on mine within 2 days. Like it never. Like it never came together as nice as it could, like, but it was always like it still worked fine. I still got all the use out of it, but it was just like, Like if they do it though, I do not want them to fix Magmasaur. I want the Magmasaur to look as dumb as fuck.
Oh, you mean the combined form?
Yep.
For the dinosaur? Yeah, fuck, I forgot about that.
Yep. Where it's a Giganotosaurus with a Plesiosaur sticking out his arse.
See, if you have that at Commander Class and you're asking Commander Class money for it, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. It's 3 robots, and you couldn't sell them as individual things.
Nope.
That's a perfect example of what a Commander Class would be, rather than, as we've complained about many times before. Was there any other figures, the idea of figures that stood out?
Laser Optimus sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Also, like, do not repaint that into Scourge, repaint it into Toxitron.
Oh, they never do Toxitron. Every fucking time they've just like, even though it's a fan thing and it would be a nice little fan thing to do, for some reason they never do it. We've only ever had 1 Toxitron figure released. 2?
The TFCC one from
the one I'm counting is the animated one.
Yeah, the subscription service did one out of the Combiner Wars.
Did they? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I must have got that one then. Okay, so we've only had 2.
Yeah, it was like a Wrecker Combiner, I think.
And I would say that's a much more interesting paint scheme for Prime than we usually get.
Yeah, it was really fun. Just looking at pictures of Magmatron now, I love that toy so much. So much fun. Let's see. Iguanus could be interesting if it's the Pretender.
It better be.
Giaxus, that's going to be an Armada Starscream retool.
Which I hate, because it should be its own unique design, so he could be weird looking.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm always surprised they don't redo him out of a Scourge.
Yeah.
Like, what was his alt mode? Yeah, because his alt mode was basically Scourges.
I don't remember, to be honest.
I'm just looking at a picture now. Hang on, I'll send this over. Save that.
Oh no, Mikey's disco dancing again.
Like that's
you can't
his alt
stop
mode.
him, unfortunately.
So you could do him out of Scourge. Many have tried.
Oh, really? That's his mode?
Yeah, I think what I never loved about him doing him out of Armada Starscream design is they never got the colors right.
You know what it looks like,
They did
Mikey?
just this full-bodied orange.
Flip that image upside down, and he looks like the bottom of a stingray.
Oh, yeah.
He's got like the little sad stingray mouth.
Yeah, but what they did when they repainted or retooled Starscream was they just made him orange.
Yeah, like, I remember the repaint. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
the head was actually quite nice on it, but
yeah.
Man, what a lame color scheme it was.
Yeah, like I'm like his IDW one has a big orange chest, but like it's more varied. I believe when they did him in the comic, they at least like added more gray and stuff. But
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, like that would be interesting. I'm just looking now. Is there any other ones of note? Not really. So that would be those are the ones that popped my head. The other things, of course, was the new figures announced. So we had the sweeps, which are slightly paler with a new hand sculpt on one hand, I believe.
That's right.
Which apparently there was a thing on the video where it says like, I'm not telling you can swap hands on these, and I'm just like,
why would you even want to?
Yeah, I'm just looking like. Yeah, so you can have slightly more symmetrical looking hands.
Can you imagine doing that?
Is that because it looks like what they've done is they've just reversed the hands. They've just flipped the CAD model for the hands over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked.
So,
to be fair.
Do you want symmetrically handed Sweep and Scourge? I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, that's what they were going to do with the sweeps anyway. It's still shocking that they even bothered. Like, they should have done a different head expression at the very least.
Yeah,
at the very least.
I definitely would have liked a new facial expression, like a repackaging. It's basically the same kind of repackaging we got in Kingdom, so it is something they've got a pattern emerging. Also, I'm just looking through the photos. That guy is like one of them, like. He's got like all these Transformers things, and then just in the middle of them, it's just like Gao Gai Gar and X Kaiser.
Oh, good toys, nice.
Who
Actually,
just in
which ones were they CM scope ones?
I can't tell. The X Kaiser is big, and the Gao Kaiser is big. Looking at the Gao Gai Gar, I think Gao Gai Gar, that looks like it's the Solar Chogokin.
Okay, well at least it's not CM scope.
And his shelves is nothing but Ligers.
Oh, wow.
So HMM Ligers. So Blade Liger, Liger Zero, Panzer, Schneider, Jaeger. Like this guy does Zoids. So he's a good man. Preceptor, I was very amused when they said he's an official triple changer with his official tank mode. Just like come on guys. Let's be honest. Come on guys.
Oh.
And Starscream, who we sort of described, like we were talking about it on Twitter, and just like I don't hate him the way I hate Rodimus, because I could use this in a display.
Okay, yeah.
However, it is still no.
It's pretty gross.
Pretty gross. I mean, I'm amused by like people are saying like, oh, because the boxes are now like windowless, people are going to take this Starscream out and swap him for the regular Earthrise one. And I had to put the two pictures next to each other. As far as I can tell, his colors are brighter.
Yeah,
that's the difference. So like, my response to that would be like, and would you notice?
And here's the thing, like they say that it's like. Have you not seen the joke images of what people have done even with the windowed boxes? It's like, here's a Bumblebee in a Megatron box. It's like, I don't think they give a shit.
Smiths don't care.
They don't care.
No. Like, the cape, I think it's disappointing he can't wear the cape when he's sitting in the chair. I think that's kind of dumb.
Hey, maybe if they'd made it out of, I don't know, a material.
Yeah, what they've done is they've put that, like, you can store the cape and his weapons and stuff on the back of the chair.
Yep.
Which is exciting, but and apparently it goes on Preceptor as well, which is okay.
What, the cape?
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through. But like the thing that gets me, and like the like I said, the chair, like whatever. At least I can say like, okay, I could use this in a display, and it's more functional than a Rodimus trailer that doesn't doesn't turn into power armor or something fun. Which is why I would always say, if you're getting a Rodimus, get the flawed but at least fun Power of the Primes one, or the Nemesis repaint of it anyway. It's the fact that Starscream can't sit in the chair.
What do you mean, Mikey? Of course he sits in the chair. We've seen the images.
What happens is his wings touch the bottom of the chair, and then he squats above the chair, possibly to build up them delts, yo. Or quads or whatever calf muscles. I don't care. But so yeah, which is really dumb to me because surely the thing to do, since this comes with the character, is to have I was listening to a podcast and people were saying like, well, it's understandable, the shape of the wings and everything else. And it's just like, no, it's not, because you know why? This is coming with this character, right?
Yeah.
Put a groove in the chair so he can sit down.
Well, here's the thing. It is understandable, but that's not an excuse. It is understandable, but it's not an excuse for why he doesn't sit in the chair. It's just not.
You give him the chair, he should be able to sit in the chair, and when all you have to do is put a hollow line underneath that part so his wings slip down.
Or something. You could have it like, so the chair's like two pieces. So you slide the chair back piece out very slightly, so like you say, it creates the groove. So if you just want the chair on its own, there's not a natural groove there that you can't get rid of. There you go, problem solved.
That would... And like, even if there was a natural groove you couldn't get rid of, it's just it's at the back of the chair and it's going to be covered by someone's ass. Yeah,
exactly. It's unlikely that you're just going to have the chair on its own displayed. You might, it's unlikely.
Hey, if it had a big Decepticon shape to it, I think that would be
that'd be understandable.
Yeah, but it don't have that.
No.
So it don't have that. So what the fuck, man?
I don't know.
What the fuck?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's yeah. So it's better than the kick to the dick, but it's still not fun to me.
No,
and it is kind of unpleasant how they're approaching this. How they're approaching this pricing at the moment. It really is. I'm not a fan.
No,
but hey, we'll see. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on those.
All right, cool. Well, Mr. Mikey, I suppose we should move on to the next bit of news. Oh, no, that's right. I was going to leave these two to you because it was Cyberverse and Dinobody too.
Yeah, Cyberverse, which is something I love and is coming back at some point this year, I think.
Yeah.
We still haven't had any dates or trailers, so it's becoming increasingly worrying.
That's kind of why I went, because it's like, who knows?
Who knows? So we've got official images of Transformers Cyberverse Ultimate Class Energon Armor Volcanicus. So, this is, of course, the Dinobot Combiner Volcanicus in a design that's way better than his G11. It is way the fuck better.
What do you mean his G11? What do you mean by that?
His terrible G1... Like, obviously, one of the advantages this has over it, it's not a combiner. It's an ultra-class figure, which means it's a solid one-shot figure. But just the overall aesthetic of the Cyberverse Volcanicus, even when you look at like improved versions of the G1 Volcanicus, like in the Power of the Primes cartoon or in some promo art, this looks better.
Yeah.
This isn't, and the head looks better as well because it's not just Grimlock.
Yeah, I'll still always be in the camp of I just don't like the idea of Volcanicus.
Oh yeah, no,
and
that's
I think
fine.
Visually, color scheme wise, it's boring.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's just the Dinobot color scheme.
Exactly, it doesn't do anything interesting. But yeah, it is I think a more solid look. I mean, it would be nice if we had we do have some artwork of it, like a 2D render of it, but it would be nice if there was a bit more to it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's got the flip over armor gimmick the ultra class figures have, which aren't anything in the show. And also, like in his case, when it happens, it also flips out like a dragon head.
Does it? I don't think it does. I just think it flips out a little mask for the. Oh no, you're right. It does.
In the box, it doesn't have the dragon head, and the dragon head because they've given this thing an alt mode, a not amazing alt mode. It's basically like flip out some pads and flip out the head, but he's got a dragon mode.
I was going to call it a winged wolf mode. That's what it reminds me of.
There's a fair bit of that. But like, if we could get like a combining toy of this, there's some design elements I really like. Like the fact that Sludge splits in two to form the arms.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think that's nice. But yeah, no, I like the aesthetic. I would like obviously I'd like a transforming combining toy, but
that ain't gonna happen.
No, because everyone hates Cyberverse because God is dead.
Because it's not G1, Mikey. Get fucked.
I've only got one ultra class figure. It's the Clobber, which I bought because it's Clobber and I love Clobber. But no, this looks fun. This looks like a fun kids toy. So yeah, and more Cyberverse, please. The other one, which is far more discussable, is the first images from Prime versus Prime of Transformers Cyberverse Dinobots Unite Deluxe Dinobot Slug figure. So this is, of course, Slug the Triceratops, or Slag, or whatever. And yeah, he has a quite G1 looking robot mode with a lot more yellow.
Yeah, I think the yellow really makes him pop a lot more.
Yeah, and a great face sculpt. I love the face sculpt because it's got so much personality.
He has all of the chin and all of the eyes.
Yeah, and he's not happy to see you.
No, it's really good.
Yeah, he's also got like decent posability. He's got some of the problems that the Cyberverse Deluxes have, which is a little bit of like fold-in gappiness in the legs.
Very hollow. Very hollow. Even more so than like a lot of the Transformers in the main lines that we're getting. Like you said, because of it being the Cyberverse one. Yeah.
He comes with an axe, he comes with a gun, and with some actually halfway decent-looking effect parts. Which hopefully do not destroy your toy. But he's got very little paint in him, which is an advantage. He does have a little bit though. The head's quite nicely painted. We see him. He's a good size as well, which I like. We see him next to RC, and then we see his alt mode. Alt mode is a little bit weaker in terms of just overall thing. Like I don't like how the back half's formed, which is kind of like the normal Slug transformation upside down with a very weedy tail.
Yeah. And it's not like I thought it'd actually be a lot worse, to be honest. But his robot mode is clearly the standout. Obviously.
Yeah. The Triceratops head looks kind of fall as Cybertron-y.
Is that bad? Would you say, or is that just a statement?
It's good. It's just like this is a toy that like you can see like you'd want to see. If this had a bigger budget, the design is all there.
I think that's the worst thing about this figure, because there's a lot of elements I really like about it. It just it's being kneecapped by its pricing more so than anything.
Like I like that they, instead of doing the whole like they've given him a fake chest mount, which means that they can give a proper mount to the Triceratops mode instead of having the usual thing where like the entire head opens up.
Yeah.
For a lower jaw, like they've given him a proper lower jaw. And the box art I think is great. I want that design in the show. Like if that's what he looks like in the show, that'll be awesome.
Yeah,
because that thing looks mean. That thing looks very unhappy to see you.
Yeah, and it fits in like on the side of the box. You see all the Dinobots in at least the dinosaur modes, and they all have a really good aesthetic that they all kind of blend together really well.
And again, it's kind of like that horrible, frustrating thing of like, why can't we have these designs in like a Generations toy line?
Yeah, or at least with the Generations toy line budget. Because whenever we've had like the Generations toy line before, alongside with the TV show, the TV shows, well, until RID, I think the RID, the new RID show, not the old RID show, until that time, they seem, to me, I remember them being given similar-ish budgets. Like the toys were comparable. They weren't like the difference between them and the two toy lines now is massive.
Yeah, and like it's just like those Dinobot designs are excellent. Looking at them, like these are, in terms of TV Dinobot designs, these are the best ones.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like the story or anything for Cyberverse, but from a visual standpoint,
there's a great aesthetic.
Oh,
I love the fact they give Swoop a long tail. Like everyone's got fangs.
Yep.
Like Sludge looks great.
He does. He really does.
It's really fucking frustrating.
Yeah, it's a shame. 20 years time, he'll be in the Legacy line.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think Grimlock's been a little bit redesigned.
Has he? Okay.
I think so. The head looks a little different.
Oh, the arms look a bit different as well, because the shoulders, didn't they have like the triple missile launcher on rather than the double missile launcher? Maybe he's been changed so he can, become Volcanicus.
That would be cool. Like I like Grimlock's design is the Evergreen design, which is a really good T-Rex design. But if they redesigned him to, I'm just looking because I haven't seen the show in a while. But do you know what? I'm wrong. It's just it's the angle. It's the angle. It's the angle. They've just never shown him at this kind of angle before.
Oh, okay. So Grimlock looks the same then.
Grimlock's the same, but he looks a bit bulkier. I will say that. Anyway, I really like this take in the Dinobots. I'm putting this up on Twitter to say I really like this take in the Dinobots because I haven't looked at news all week because I've been busy. But it's really cool. I really, really like this design, and I would love, like, I don't care about Sludge as a character. He's my least favorite. But man, I would kill for that sauropod mode. Like the Brontosaurus, a Brontosaurus covered in spikes is amazing. Like I seriously dig it. But yeah, anyway, I think he looks like a really fun toy. I'm definitely going to be trying to pick this guy up to go with, because I've got Grimlock, and it'd be really cool to get the other ones, at least in the Cyberverse Deluxe scale.
Or maybe they'll do the whole team.
Yep, that would be really cool.
Wouldn't it?
It would be lovely.
Yeah, hopefully. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Should I take the last story, Mr. Mikey?
Might as well.
Righto, then the last bit of news we have for the week is we have confirmed dates for the, I guess it's worth mentioning, digital event for Hasbro PulseCon 2021. It's going to be on the 22nd and 23rd of October. It's going to be coming via their YouTube channel. It's not being locked off to people this year, like they said it was last year, if anybody remembers that. Mikey reminded me last year, they were like, you can only see this if you have a premium membership. That kind of went down the wayside. So it looks like this year they went, maybe we'll just show people because we actually want them to buy our products, and it's a good idea to actually advertise. Who knew? So yeah, that's all there is to say for that. Mikey, do you have anything to say? Because we don't know about guests. I think we can easily say, hopefully we'll see something related to at least some of these leaks for Legacy. Well, we have to see something for Legacy Evolution.
I'm sure, it's that time of year, so it would be very strange if we didn't.
Well, we're coming to the end of Kingdom, so they got to set us up for the next load of toys to buy for Christmas. Maybe they'll show something of Rise of the Beast. Not that I'm too fussed personally, but
I'd be surprised if we saw anything from Rise of the Beast apart from maybe maybe an early design for someone. I could see maybe something for Cyberverse.
I was going to say they have to show something for the Cyberverse movie because they've been talking about it and we haven't seen anything.
And we're already getting toy reveals. Yeah. We're getting toy reveals, so it'd be like we really do need to have just so you know, this isn't just because we want to do some Dinobot stuff.
Yeah, there's a movie, guys. Come on, maybe we're going to talk about it. It's coming out this week.
And the Nickelodeon show and the Netflix show.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, that's right. Yeah. There's stuff happening. So Hasbro Pulse. I guess that's it for our news this week, Mr. Mikey. So I'm going to poke you in the belly, and I'm just going to say, hey, Mikey, what you been up to these past 2 weeks? You done anything fun?
It's been a very hectic couple of weeks, and for most of them, I was not at home and did not have access to most of my things. So I didn't have my laptop, or my computer. I didn't have Crunchyroll or stuff like that. So I had Netflix, and I was going to watch Godzilla, but I was very, very busy. And Godzilla Singularity Point, what I've seen of it is something where you want your brain on, not want to be lying there on the couch going I'm so sleepy.
Oh, it's came back, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't watch this week. My big watching was I rewatched Dragon Prince and I binged Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I am up to date on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Which is a fun American comedy, which is something I very rarely say because I do not like American comedies as a rule. But
it's not bad. It's got some good jokes here and there. It's entertaining.
I do not particularly care for Boyle.
Which one's Boyle? Oh, yeah, no, I like the captain the best.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's the best one.
And Terry Crews. Terry Crews and him, I think are the best characters in the show.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Last week, before I've forgotten what I was doing for some stuff, but I do remember I did watch episode 1 of Marvel What If, which was the Captain America one.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was all right. Better than I was expecting, and considering I had no expectations. Hang on. I've realized while I was gone, someone moved my crossbones.
Oh my God.
How very dare they. You go sit there, and you sit there, and then I have my nice tiered display for them. I have 3 crossbones. One's on the ground, one's on a short stand, and one's on a long stand. And they form a nice tiered display up to the full clock. Don't you fucking judge me, world. Honestly, it was better than I thought it would be. I think that's a long way from saying it was great. It wasn't terrible. The animation style, I'm not crazy about. The actual choreography and fight stuff, I'm definitely into. They had Captain Carter use a shield as a shield. And use it to bounce off people instead of doing what they did in First Avenger, which was he carried it and blocked stuff. The problem with this is that they open with what if Carter became Captain Carter and Steve basically became a sort of early Iron Man.
Yeah, they did nothing with the what if concept. Nothing.
Yeah, they
it's
basically
so
do the first Avenger, where they swap things. Like, it even ends basically the same way First Avenger ends, basically.
But it is a kind of a thing that Peggy Carter is a better Captain America.
Yeah, she's much better. And to be fair,
which I don't like the idea of, because it seems like that's what they're saying with Black Panther as Star-Lord. It seems like he's a better Star-Lord.
I mean, he's a better. The thing is, I would say he's a better actor than the guy who plays Peter Quill, which I don't mind. I haven't watched. I've watched episode 2. I don't really feel the need to watch episode 2. Because particularly since like episode 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy, and I've
heard stuff about episode 2. Apparently Black Panther is able to convince Thanos not to be evil by talking to him, shown off screen, but it's a joke. It's like, I was able to convince Thanos, and he's like, oh, he just had a good conversation with me. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah,
it's like, wow.
Wow. Like, I'm just looking, like, written by, like, that's just like, hey, it's the normal level of stupid that goes with the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise at the moment. Which is basically,
I think it's much worse. I think it's the usual Marvel writing at the moment.
Yeah,
more so than Guardians.
Yeah, well, like, you can trace Marvel's current writing style to Guardians. Like,
I'd say it's a lesser version of that at the very
least.
Oh yeah,
well, like, Guardians did it. Guardians did it fun, and then they decided that's how they're going to do the rest of the Marvel MCU. And then James Gunn, certainly in Marvel, never did it as well as he did in Guardians 1, because I think
he did like Guardians 1 and 2, though, didn't he? He didn't really do anything else for them.
He did something else off the top of my head, but
did he?
And I also think, like, one of the things was, like, he wasn't solo writing Guardians 1.
Probably not. No.
He was writing with Nicole Perlman, who was like a comic writer. She's like she's written she's a Marvel comic writer, and she did a bit of screenwriting as well. And she like specifically said, "I want to write Guardians because it's something I think could be fun." And it was, but then she wasn't on the second movie, and I think it really shows.
Okay, interesting.
I'm not honestly a huge fan of James Gunn's solo work in general, but yeah, like, basically it's what if Captain Carter was the first Avenger, which translates into what if first Avenger, but you swap Steve out for Carter. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I only got through 18 minutes of it because the pacing in it is pretty fucking terrible. Yeah, as they jump in halfway through the film when instead of, like you say, instead of Steve getting it, Peggy gets it. They don't really talk about the Doctor who died. I think an interesting idea would be, what if the Doctor who made the serum didn't die, and World War II devolved into a war of super soldiers fighting super soldiers? That's a more interesting idea.
Or, like, what if she ended the war early?
Yeah.
What if, like, she made such a difference, the war ended early and they didn't, and what effect would that have? But, like, the fact, like, they want to do, like, oh, Red Skull has Tesseract. They go after the Tesseract. They lose the Tesseract. She, instead of getting frozen, she goes through a time portal, and then she meets Nick Fury at the end. And I'm just like, cool, not very brave at all.
It's not very anything.
Nah, it's just like, I will say, it's better than the first Avenger, but that's like saying it's better than a kick in the teeth. Because the first Avenger is a terrible fucking film.
It's pretty bland. It's not one of the highlights of the first phase.
Of the first phase, it's my absolute least favorite. Like, I think it is the worst one.
I would agree. I would agree.
Like, it's not the worst MCU film because then Ragnarok came out, but it is certainly. But yeah, so I wish this had been braver. Or like they touch on sexism in this. It's like, really do that properly. Like, instead of making bad jokes and whatever, make this like a serious thing, or like a female superhero in 1940s America. Yeah,
the general was like a Looney Tunes. I'm stupid and I hate women for no particular reason. It's like, okay,
but like, you're doing the 1940s. Like, to say sexism was like culturally ingrained, and like it'd be really interesting because, like, in the 40s, women had to go into factories, they had to go, they became snipers in some case, they did get involved in the military because of shortage of men. So, like, what was it like to be a woman in the military, or somewhere in the military complex, in a system where you're fighting because you have literally no choice because Nazis, but there's still this system that sees you as a lesser lesser being in like something that's an interesting take in it, and like if they'd really played into that, I would have found it more interesting than what they did.
But they didn't want to do that.
No.
They just wanted to do the first Avenger in 30 minutes.
Where sexism is a joke. Like they played the sexism off as a joke, which I was like, you could have done that. You could have made this serious. Why? It's What If. You don't have to follow any of your pre-established rules. Like, make this a serious drama instead of like, ooh, there's Tony's dad and he's interrupting the kiss. Hydra. But yeah, so I'm not super interested in where What If is going. Like, if they do a What If Hulk, I'll probably morbidly check it out, but...
What if Hulk wasn't fucking lame? What if Hulk wasn't lame, and if he wasn't Professor Hulk? How about that?
Yeah, what if Immortal Hulk? Like, do something like... What if the MCU Hulk was the Immortal Hulk?
Here's the problem, though. That's not the movie universe, so they're not going to do that. I don't think they want to introduce the kids to Immortal Hulk.
Just like, they should.
They should. I mean, because it's interesting, and it's a neat idea. But I think the problem with What If is it's locked into the Marvel universe, and they'll go a little bit outside of it, but they want to keep it still locked in the Marvel universe rather than let's just do fucking anything. You know?
Same problem with stuff like WandaVision and Loki, in my opinion. Or like that's a problem they have. Is that's like if they weren't tied into if they weren't tied into the MCU, I guarantee you those shows would be a lot braver.
Maybe. Potentially, yeah.
Maybe not good, but definitely braver. But yeah, I think that's the thing. You're doing What If. Do something more clever than what if they picked up T'Challa instead of Peter Quill, and what if we changed the main character First Avenger? Mm-hmm. Like, but go more interesting. Like, don't do a Guardian story that's not a joke.
Yeah.
But you know. I know they're doing Black Widow next, and I know they're probably doing Marvel's What If MCU Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a full Marvel Zombies thing, though, because all we've seen is like a zombie Captain America, and that's it. I don't think they're doing proper like Marvel Zombies, which again is a shame because Marvel Zombies was a silly but fun little comic. Yeah. I like it quite a lot.
Yeah, no, Marvel Zombies, the original was good. Unfortunately, it kind of suffered from like we were popular and now Marvel wants to ram you down our throats, but...
Yeah, I think there's still some interesting Marvel Zombie stories in there, but some of them are clearly not as good as other ones.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if you're someone who's into the MCU, What If will hit you the same way Loki and WandaVision and whatever have hit you. If you want something that is just like an inventive piece of animation or anything like that, or you want to see something kind of clever, this is not the thing for you in my view. Also, I just looked, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Marvel zombie books.
Wow.
Not including, and that's including Marvel Zombies 1 to 5.
I only knew of those ones. I didn't know there was more than that. Jeez.
Dead Days Return, Evil Evolution, Versus the Army of Darkness, Resurrection, Destroy Supreme, and others.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. TV wise, I honestly can't think of any. Game wise, I just replayed some. Like, I brought the PS4 with me, so I was just replaying some old games. I did build some kits while I was gone. I made sure to bring them with me. So I finished the Full Armor Gundam, the Master Grade Full Armor.
Yay.
The base RX-78 is a really good kit. It's a really solid kit. Like, it's 2008 kit, and it really doesn't show it. Very good, like, hand articulation is excellent. Very good posability, really fun build, feels really solid, and in these colors, like, it looks very nice. You're missing a runner for weapons. They don't include one of the weapon runners, so you can't give him that big cannon thing the RX-78 has. But overall, it's a good one. The only thing that's letting it down is the RX-78 overall aesthetic. The full armor mode looks really good. I like the armor upgrade on it, and I think whether you get in the blue or the green, it looks good. I like the weapons accessories. It's simple enough. You just have kind of a hand cannon, an arm shield, and a shoulder cannon. But then you've got lots of missile pods in the actual armor. The problems come with how it actually works, because for the most part, they didn't like put in clips and stuff to clip onto the RX-78. They're these little sticky pads that you cut off and stick onto the inside of the chest and into different like parts of the foot and parts of the skirt, and that's how you stick on the armor. And within an hour, that was already failing. So those were already falling off within an hour of me putting them on. So if you're building this kit, and I honestly think it's worth it because the end product looks really good, you have to have super glue.
Oh, no.
You absolutely 100% need super glue. Because like, and if someone says like, oh, I got it back in the day and it worked fine, just like this is a 2014 repaint of a 2011 retool of a 2008 kit.
Oh my god.
Like, so these are... the fact that pads are like very old now and aren't working as well, like, absolutely shows. And the few places where things clip on, like the arm and the leg armor, that those are really solid connections. Really wish the whole thing was done like that, but like super glued it on, holds together really, really well. Like with the glue, it's nothing special. I just got like standard super glue. I didn't get like modeling glue, but I think. And like you lose a small bit of leg articulation, but apart from that, it's got everything the original figure had, and you can still take it apart and pull out the core fighter. So I really like it, and I really like how it turned out. I'm just like, be aware you need to have that tool on hand. So
sounds neat. It's a bit of a shame about the glue,
but it's and like way more my aesthetic once it's armored up than the standard RX-78. The other thing I built was the HMM Zoid Shadow Fox. So, do you know what the Shadow Fox looks like?
I only know because I saw the images on your Twitter. It looks like a dog.
It looks like a wolf. Or a fox. It's a fox. It looks more. It's got like a kind of Japanese Kyuubi face. Yeah. But yeah, so it's basically like. Design-wise, the standard like canine thing is the command wolf, which is that one which was basically kind of like really skinny and a cockpit face. And this was like the next one, which is supposed to look more like an actual animal. So it's got like a more traditional animal head and everything else. It's my second Zoid kit. The first one was the Genosaur, the Dinosaur Expo Genosaur from 2019.
That's the red T-Rexy one, isn't it?
A white repaint of it.
Oh, okay. Potato, I suppose.
Supposed to give it fossil look, but it's just white. So this was one of their first HMM kits from the early 2000s, and that one falls apart pretty easily. Absolutely, like it's a really fun build. It's a really fun building the Genosaur, but it's just not steady. It's just not solid.
Oh, so, Kodabakia.
Yep, definitely needed super glue when I was doing that. However, Shadow Fox, I'm just gonna pick him up now. He's over here. He is way different. He is solid as a fucking rock. Like, all his joints feel good. He's got nothing the only thing that I had any problems with was that I was putting together one of the extender joints in the chest, and because it's using polycap against a joint, it started to come away. Small bit of super glue in there fixed that. So it's good to have it on hand. But like the articulation is really solid. The weapons all feel like nothing feels like it's going to come off. I shake him, nothing's coming off, nothing falling off. Really cool aesthetic. I love the design, and you can get it in red as well. The Firefox, I think it's called. So it's a red version, but I love like the black and gold. Really good. Some nice painting options on here as well. Some stickers, but not a ton. But I ended up not using any. Posability is really, really good. I really like it. This came out like limited accessories because it's Zoid, but I really like the accessories it's got, like the tail cannon and the Gatling gun. I think work really well. And like I said, like one thing I like about these is like posable animals. Animal mechs are rare, so like I'm just fiddling with it now, and it's just like it's so easy to make this thing look cool. So easy. Took me a while to build because they're quite complicated. They're at least master grade in terms of their complication, and like the Genosaur is more complicated than master grade. So this guy's like he's about half as tall as an RX-78 on like standing up on the Masterpiece scale, but our master grade. But like I really like this guy. I really like this guy. I definitely want to see what other HMMs are good to get into. Like they've got a Raptor that they released recently and a new Liger from the really super kiddie Zoid show that was on like 2 or 3 years ago. which is I'm not sure about the design on that, but like, if the build quality jumped this much between the Genosaur and the Shadow Fox, really want to see what they produced. But like, I think if you're going to go for a Zoid kit, the Shadow Fox is a really good starter. It's a really good confidence builder. I'm not sure if I want to go backwards, like try maybe the Blade Liger or the Liger Zero. But I would definitely say this guy, and I hope anything that comes after him, worth checking out.
Okay.
So I would say if you do want to try dipping into a Zoids, they get re-released fairly often. Like they're not uncommon, and this guy wasn't super expensive. I think it was €30.
Okay, yeah.
So, and for the quality of the figure you get, like, I think it's definitely worth it.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm just gonna put him back, and yeah, that was basically, those are the things of note. What about you, Andy? Did you do anything of note?
My notes of doing things. I like I mentioned, I only got through about 15 minutes of What If, and then I went, no more, please. I want to watch something good, so I switched over to watch the 3-parter, the beginning of episode of He-Man 2000X. That still holds up.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's still really good. That show's still really good.
The
it
worst
obviously has some slumps, but yeah, it's still
the worst thing
solid.
about that show is the casting for He-Man.
I don't mind Cam Clark. I think my issue with it is the design of Adam looks a little bit too much like a teenage version of Mighty Max.
I can see that, actually, yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed rewatching those. I might keep going. I try to rewatch the DVDs I have of the 2000X series on my DVD player, which is a region-free one, and the region-free DVD player is just broken. It's broken. Like the DVD tray won't come out anymore. The rows just give me the sound of not working. So I guess I'll need to buy a new one at some point. Which is a shame.
Did you see the trailer from this week, by the way?
Oh, for the new He-Man show. Yes, I did.
It looks more kiddie, certainly, but honestly, I'm more into that than I am I'm more into the feeling from the trailer. More interested in that show after seeing the trailer than I was in seeing the Kevin Smith one.
Well, the Kevin Smith one was just badly written and from
the
bad show. But
just
yes,
based off the trailer, you know.
Yeah.
I
don't think the show looks great. I think it looks like it'll be an okay kids show. I'm not sure why they have why they have like really young kids being called like Man-at-Arms and stuff like that when they could just call them new character names instead.
Like there's one in there like because Cringer, David Kaye's playing Cringer. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Man-at-Arms, and I'm assuming the purple skin girl is Teela.
I think so.
Which
can't remember.
Makes me wonder what's going on with the white-haired girl.
Do you know the one that has the ram head? Do you know what she's called?
Oh yeah, Ram Mam.
Yes, that's very cringy.
I know, but it's horribly cringy. But it's also like, oh no, it's the kind of cringely that at least makes me giggle.
Not me. I'm just like, no, don't do that. Don't just make her a new character. There are enough She-Ra characters and He-Man characters that you could find another female character. You know, so you could do something.
Ram Mam.
Also, Ram Mam just sounds dumb. And unless the character's stupid, like Ram Man was in all iterations, you know, he wasn't the brightest tool in the box because he used his head as a battering ram.
Yeah, he was never the wisest man in the world.
No, but you could count on him. But yeah, I think the overall designs, Jai mentioned this, that they look like they're out of Brutal Legends, the game that they did way back when. And I think it's an interesting way to go. I don't think visually it's for me.
No,
but I like the look of some of the characters. Like Skeletor, I think works.
Yeah, I like Skeletor.
Yeah, but then there are other ones that just
He-Man doesn't.
Just don't hit me. No, He-Man doesn't work for me.
Like, it's a weird thing. Like, the actual 2D designs are largely in the similar aesthetic you're getting as standard for 3D or 3D designs for a standard for what you're getting in modern kids TV. So it's
I heard it was done by the Troll Hunter team.
Yeah, it is.
So I guess that makes sense.
Which I hear the writing for that show is actually pretty solid. I've been meaning to check that out for ages, but I just haven't. But yeah, I think the overall designs are largely in the similar aesthetic you're getting in modern kids TV. So it's
Well, I heard it was done by the Troll Hunter team.
I hear the writing for that show is actually pretty solid. I've been meaning to check that out for ages, but I just haven't. they've gone for a stylization, which I do appreciate. It doesn't always work given proportions and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like it looks like He-Man did gym, but only on the top half of his body. He did no leg day.
Teeny tiny legs.
Very slender, very slender. I think you could have done something a bit more interesting with the He-Man property instead of just doing He-Man and Skeletor again.
Yeah.
But I get why they don't, because, you know, generally speaking, when we're doing stuff with previous properties, we don't reiterate them. Transformers used to. We've talked about this before. They don't do that now. They don't do that with Star Trek now, because it's always referencing previous stuff or relying on, say, like Picard, and it fucking fails. My opinion. They're doing it with Star Wars as well, and it all just kind of mushes into an uncreative kind of mess.
We're not really pushing ourselves anymore.
No, it's do the safe option, and I think doing the safe option is usually not the wisest. You could say, oh, but they didn't do anything that crazy with the 2000X show. It's like, well, no, what they did was they reiterated what the original He-Man show was, and then they just went heavy on the mythology and the lore building, and it was treated seriously, and they did it. I mean, the early 2000s was the peak of cartoons.
Absolutely. Like
for the general, like when we got the most high quality cartoons. Obviously, there are still some good high quality ones that come out now. They're just very rare, in my opinion.
It's an interesting one because like He-Man 2000X was very much like animated and just like, okay, new elements. Lots of new elements are actually in there, like new aesthetics, but like heavily referential and like. I'd say it was just around 2012-ish where everything became... I think it was kind of like around the time Thundercats failed as a show.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Thundercats had succeeded, maybe the landscape might have been a bit different, but the Cartoon Network, as we've said many times, decided to put a gun to its head and kill it, unfortunately.
And then suddenly, like, everything is everything with a franchise is suddenly like... We need to always use the same small roster of characters. We need to push them as much as we need to push on your nostalgia, make you think like, hey, we need to do the member berries approach.
Yeah, and not much else to it than that.
Which is a real problem at the moment because like Transformers is creatively dead in my mind.
Which is weird because Transformers hasn't been creatively dead until recently.
Yeah.
Like it was always doing something. Beast Wars was a massive risk.
Yeah.
Massive departure, and it didn't land for some people at the time, but
it feels
now
like,
looking back on it, wow.
Like Cyberverse, like narratively, when it gets into it, goes completely fucking insane. But the character roster is large until halfway through season 2, season 3 is restricted. Transformers in general, that's like, I'm tired of seeing the same five guys. I really want to do a show discussing the way nostalgia has affected Transformers.
I guess you probably don't want me on that just because I'd be agreeing with you most of the time.
I want a few people to talk on that one. But the thing that really strikes me is that when I hear some podcasts talk, and like the ones that are really into that talk about Transformers media in basically, I saw G1 and I collect and I don't really watch a lot of other stuff.
That's a shame.
Those ones definitely connect quite strongly with the current era because it's hitting their nostalgia.
So it's a shame that did they talk about the quality of the writing though?
No, because they don't engage with it's like, oh, I just want I want the character the way I remember the character being.
Right. It's more of the like you say, the remember tickle, and that's it. That's the extent of it. It doesn't need to go past that as into interesting writing. Okay.
Yeah, I don't hear as many people talking about the actual media anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, that makes sense.
I don't think the binging model really helped with that because suddenly, like, Transformers media isn't something that you talk about now for 26 weeks. It's something that is over. That's 8 episodes long and it's over in a day, which I think is like why the binging model is not necessarily good for keeping discussion going about a medium anymore.
It's not good in general just for media, I don't think, just because you can like you say, you binge a show and then you talk about it for that week, but then there's the next product to talk about. It is the red letter media joke of consume more product until you can consume more product. That's it. There is no like real discussion about it. There's no real thought. There is for some people, obviously. I'm not going to peg everybody with that, but the general thing is but what's the next thing? But what's the next thing? But what's the next thing? And then there's me going, but where's season 3 of He-Man 2000X? Where's the next season of Justice League Unlimited?
Setting up.
Now, granted, Justice League Unlimited was done, but if we could go back to that style, that would be... I'd love
Teen
that.
Titans.
Teen Titans as well. Teen Titans was a fantastic show. It was weird because it started off rocky as well, but my God, once it got going, it was such a departure from what people expected as well. People expected it to be Justice League Unlimited or something like that, and it wasn't. It was such a divergence.
Had its
but
own
what a
identity,
good show,
which is so important.
It did,
and yeah, everyone's chasing someone else's success these days, and it really shows.
Yeah, that's how it feels. It's a shame, but that's how it be. And I feel the industry is going to be chasing anime soon, because I hear Cartoon Network's wanting to team up and do its own anime, and I'm just like,
they're officially doing an action subline. I saw. I don't know if they didn't say anime in what I was reading, but they did say we are doing an action oriented, maybe kind of trying to revive the whole CNX idea.
I have a worry that they're going to try and make it look like anime, and if I want anime, I'll go to Japan. Thanks. They've got an entire industry.
All I'll say,
I go to Cartoon Network and the Western stuff for Western cartoons, and the way that they tell stories.
Yeah. And all I'll say is hey, Crunchyroll's done such a good way of showing that American style, trying to be animes, don't work a lot of the time.
It was sure a thing. Apart from that, I picked up Mikey. Have you heard of Mega Bloks?
I have heard. I have not partaken, but I have heard.
Do you know that they've rebranded themselves as Mega Construct for some reason?
No.
Well, they have rebranded and now the Mega Construct.
I don't believe you.
Well, they're too fucking bad. That's what they've done. It's a fact. And they're doing the Masters of the Universe stuff. So I was on a Masters of the Universe kick recently. So I was like, I'll pick up some. I'll pick up one at least. So I bought the set that has Battle Armor Skeletor. It's got Panther. It's got Zodak. The original version of Zodak. So he's white. So he's not my Zodak, because my Zodak's the black one from the 2000X show.
He was great.
Yeah. I still like the idea that Zodak... I still like the idea that Zodat is like a Green Lantern more than anything else.
Yeah,
it's just a title.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I can't remember if that's how it was in 2000X. It might have been. I like the idea of that.
He was protecting an ancient power source and everything else.
Yeah, I think the idea of doing that is fine. You give up your name, you give up your past, and you become a Zoldat, defender of the universe. It's a neat idea. It comes with a white version of the Sorcerer, so all of her gear is completely white. It's not as good. And it's quite visually boring because it's all just white. I think it is a reference to something, but I'm not sure what the reference is. It comes with an extra piece of Castle Grayskull, a console. The console's really cool actually, and a bird jet is the best way I can describe it. The builds are quite fun. They're a little bit finicky, but they are fun. And the minifigures are great. I really like the minifigures a lot. They've got loads of articulation, unlike Lego minifigures. And the painting on them is spot on. There's for the size of them being minifigure-ish size, they're really good. Got Skeletor, got Zoldat. They look good. I'd like to get more. I wouldn't mind getting the Castle Grayskull. That's a big set. One problem with the Mega Construct stuff is there are other sets, or you can buy individual figures, but they only seem to be available to buy in America. So you can buy single packed versions, not like blind bags even, but you can get toy Evelyn, 2000X Evelyn, and a cartoon Evelyn from the 80s. They're the same figure, they're just repainted differently. There's a Stinkor and stuff like that, but you can only buy them from America, which is annoying. Because I'm not able to do that because they're very expensive and it's difficult to ship them. It's even just difficult to find them on eBay, so that's a bit of a bummer. But because I'd like a Stinkor, I like Stinkor. I like all the Masters of Evil. They're fun. I like Stinkor's story as well in 2000X. It was dumb. It was great.
He was Brian Drummond, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he was. He was Brian Drummond. Yeah. Yeah, because he was doing a little voice, and then he was all big and scary, Brian Drummond, when he got all roided up on Stink. The Stink Boy.
Yeah.
Did I do anything else? No, apart from the usual stuff, I don't think so. Nothing Nothing crazy. I'm just looking around. Nah, I think that was it. My main oomph of the week. Oh, I finished Babylon 5. I think I mentioned that either this week or last week. But yeah, I would easily say that Babylon 5 still has a stronger end than Deep Space Nine. I think its last episode is better than Deep Space Nine's last episode. A lot better. A lot better. It's very emotional. It's very, very good. It's a great end. It just annoys me that it had to end as it did. Season 5 is perfectly fine. It's it dips to really good episodes of season 2, but it has heights of season 4. Like when they do the Centauri War stuff, that's the height of season 4 quality. When they do like the Day of the Dead, where like Linnea sees the ghost of Morden, or like Garibaldi sees a random girl called Dodger from one episode, from one girl that he fucked, and the new captain sees her dead girlfriend. It's mainly to push her story, but in a really minor way. It doesn't do a lot with it. So that's why I kind of class that as like a season 2 episode. It's more of a minor character build with very small implications later on, but it's not a wower. But that's as worse as it gets. The only thing I didn't like was Byron, because Byron's a cock. He's the worst. Byron makes everything worse. So I've moved on to Tales of the Crypt, or From the Crypt, and that's still fun to go through. Cheesy, a little fun. Entertaining enough, though. You're not going to drop your pants over the amazing writing, but it's kind of nice to see that Richard Donner worked on it. Stuff like that. Robert Zemeckis. There's some really big names that worked on Tales of the Crypt, and you're like, wow, these guys? Holy shit. It's kind of fun to just kind of look through the cast list. And like one of the episodes had, Marty McFly's mum.
Yeah.
She was in one.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh, is it? Yeah. Yeah. Demi Moore was in the one I watched last night. Like, Demi Moore, Jesus Christ. Jesus. I know, right? In the first episode, there was... you remember the guy that played Sloane?
Yes.
He was in the first episode. He was the main character. I was like, Jesus. Yeah, there's some weird people who just randomly pop up in these. I'm pretty sure... what's his name? Steve Buscemi. I think Steve Buscemi's in one episode, but I can't remember which episode it is. I'm pretty sure he pops up, though.
Weird.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure when I saw like overviews of episodes a while ago, I'm pretty sure one of these guys who got like a flesh-eating virus in the jungle was Steve Buscemi. It's like, wow, if that's the case, it's like, wow, Steve, what are you doing here? I don't know. Tales from the Crypt. I wonder if, like, from a Hollywood like insider perspective, it was one of those shows that people were like, "Oh, I really like the comics from back in the day. Yeah, I'd love to be on this TV show. Hell yeah, why not?" I wonder if it was one of those kind of shows for the people of Hollywood. Maybe, because I know the Tales from the Crypt comics were very important to the comic industry back in the day. Very, very important. It was like Superman in Action Comics, and then there was Tales from the Crypt and a few other ones as well. Which started off the comic burning of America. Fun times. But apart from that, Mr. Mikey, we have some messages from Tentamon. I didn't look at them last week because you weren't here, and I was like, yeah, we'll just wait. So, Tentamon, number 4. To follow up on that new Wrecker spin-off discussion some weeks back, I hope you remember, Mikey, because my memory's shit. I can't see Alarian as the ugly bastard from an NTR hentai. Man, I do not remember this line of thought, but
I don't think we talked about that line of thought. Is he saying I can see Aileron, or I can't? Because I guarantee.
No, he says I can't see Aileron as the. So I must have said. You wouldn't have said that.
No, that sounds like I don't remember.
That's probably something I would have said.
That one's new.
Nah, she is the native innocent who gets seduced into a threesome by a pair of MILFs. This does sound like something that could happen.
This sounds like something you said.
Someone... What's that?
This does sound like you.
No, well, this train of thought. Yeah. Someone peeping through the keyhole, leading to a really awkward breakfast in the morning afterwards. This sounds like a Tumblr story. Hell.
I'm uncomfortable as fuck.
Because funny hentai is the best hentai. Also, I saw the PS4 Jack collection on sale, Mikey. It's probably not now, but...
PS4 Jack.
You did see it.
Oh, Jack and Daxter. Yeah, no.
Jack and Daxter.
Yeah. I was just like, hang on, how is this connecting to the previous aspects of this conversation?
It made sense.
There hasn't been any PlayStation games of interest, really, lately, has there?
there hasn't been many games in general of interest, to be honest.
At
least from my perspective.
Dry period would be how I describe it.
I assume it's a little bit of COVID and a little bit of me just not liking the general games industry at the moment. Generally, there are some games that pop up.
On the side.
You know, I'm sure there will be more games popping up at some point. But
Scarlet
it'll
Nexus
be a while.
came out. That's supposed to be decent.
Yeah, it looked kind of neat. I don't want to pay full price for it, but it looks like it's okay. Doesn't look too bad. Oh, I finished playing Neo. Oh. That's something I did this week. That was fun.
Good.
It is definitely Dark Souls-y. But yeah, I enjoyed playing that. That was still fun. Tendermon goes on. So Andy, have you heard of Marvel? Have you heard Marvel is milking Annihilation again? I hadn't. I don't keep up to date with the comics personally, but I'm not happy about that. But on the bright side, Guardians of the Galaxy has got a spiffy team jackets back. Oh, that's good. Yeah, because they didn't have the fancy look that they did in the comics. They had like proper uniforms in the comics. Super Skrull's part of the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. Get the fuck out of here. Super Skrull looks pretty swag in his. Also, while the MCU What If show is the best looking Marvel animation in years, it's filled to the brim with all the MCU stuff that you hate, so watch at your own peril.
Oh no. Sorry, do you want to know what it's called?
Sorry.
The Marvel The Last Annihilation.
No! Who's it written by?
I'm just Googling now.
Unless it's Dan Abnett and Lanning, or whoever the other... I can't remember the other guy off the top of my head.
It's Dormammu is going to be the enemy in this, by the looks of it.
Oh, so it's not Annihilate. At least they're not repeating
the Last Annihilation has hit the... I'm just looking at it now. Starting with
it's
Empire
not the Annihilation then, because it's the... We're entering a new... Annihilation because
it is Marvel wave. Cosmic. Al Ewing's writing.
Okay, I don't know him off the top of my head. It's not Dan Abner, so I'm not his first.
Al Ewing, I know the name. Why do I know that name?
I don't know.
Marvel. Okay, so as the biggest and most highly praised cosmic event of the 2000s, Marvel's Annihilation carries a heavy legacy, one that has been referenced as recently as the small month-long crossover Annihilation Scourge. So yeah, this is a direct, they would connection. Say reference. I would say rip off. Because
it's not the Annihilation Wave, because it was literally about Annihilus.
I don't.
That's why it was called
Annihilation. I can't find. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm misreading about Dormammu. But I am going to say hey, Marvel, once again saying what was popular before. Okay, let's use that name and get a few sales that way. That's
literally it. It's like, hey, Civil War,
rather
Civil War
gross.
2. It's the way. They don't know what to do at the moment, so they're just throwing anything at the wall to see if
Al Ewing's the guy writing Immortal Hulk.
Okay.
So might be worth checking out, to be honest.
So there might be some good bits in there, but there might also be some aggressively preachy stuff in there as well, every now and again.
Every now and then.
Yeah. So, yeah. We don't have any other messages. At least I don't have any other messages. Mikey, do you have things?
Do not.
You have nothing.
I have nothing.
I'm disappointed in you, Mikey.
You don't care about me.
That's true. I tell you that every day. It's really weird. I've got your phone number specifically to text you in the morning.
I'm looking through what's coming out on the PS4 soon, and the only thing I can find that look interesting are Tales of Arise, and Nexomon, which is PS4's Pokemon game.
Probably should be checking out the PS5. I think if you want new games, though.
And 8.
I know you don't have a PS5.
No one has a PS5. They don't exist.
I hear people do, but I believe they're like shinies in Pokemon.
The only people I see who have a PS5 are people like... When I was watching a Hololive thing recently, and Mika said, I finally got a PS5. Oh, you bought one? No, I won one after entering 15 million competitions.
Oh my god.
Because she certainly has the money to just go out and buy it, but...
Yeah, I would have thought so. Is she cheap like me?
No, it's that they're incredibly hard to find.
Oh my god. Otherwise she would have bought one.
I'm assuming so.
I have a game for you, Mikey. Well, I have a game for me, at least, I'm actually going to buy because it's on Steam. Super Robot Wars 30.
Oh, yeah. I do want to...
It's actually on Steam. I don't know if it's going to be... I think it's on the consoles. But no, it's coming out the 27th of October, at least on Steam. I don't know if definitely want to try...
Like, if that's getting an international release, I'm definitely buying that.
Well, it's coming on Steam, and I'm pretty sure it's going on the other consoles.
Super Robot Wars 30.
Yeah. 30th anniversary, I guess. Oh my god, it's only slightly younger than me.
Oh my
god.
PlayStation. It is coming out in Japan. There is an English version coming, but it's only like I'm just googling here, and it's just listed here for which website are we on now? This is the American website. Oh my god, we might actually get it because if I want to play. If I want to play a Super Robot Wars, usually I've got to go through like the Singapore nonsense. But no.
It wouldn't be on Steam if it was not getting a US release of some description.
Yeah, but I don't trust anything. I don't trust anyone or anything.
That's understandable.
Should be actually Steam. That I should be able to play that on Steam because like it's not going to be majorly demanding.
You wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't have thought so. It might be really big. I don't know, like size wise, but I wouldn't have thought it'd be like the hardest like grindy graphics game.
I also just saw something that described the T-Rex from Jurassic Park as a dummy mommy, and I'm just like, I remember when I didn't know what that meant.
Whenever I've looked at the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, I've never thought, man, that looks like a really big, attractive-looking woman who could dominate me.
I guarantee you, if I Google a sexy Jurassic Park T-Rex, the art will flow.
Like wine. I won't say fine wine, but it will flow. Let the wine flow. So
Hang
for
on.
me, there's
simple search. Jurassic Park T-Rex boobs.
What? Oh God! Now you definitely searching. You're fishing.
Human. Yep. Oh Jesus.
I hope you're happy, Mikey.
That's not what the Indominus should be doing at all.
You did that to yourself, to be fair. So there's Super Robot Wars 30 that I want. There's also System Shock, which is getting a new a completely new version of it coming out. And I never played System Shock or System Shock 2, so I'm very interested in it because I hear great things about it. And this new version of the game, which it's not just like, oh, do you remember the old game? It's just that, but HD. It's like everything's been redone for it, so I'm very interested in that. I'm also interested in the Rift Breaker, which is also PC only, but that's been on the fall 2021, or just fall, for the past 2 years, so who knows if it's coming out. And then Total War Warhammer 3, which is late this year. So nothing like stuff that would be on the actual consoles.
Yeah.
Very PC specific stuff. All the console stuff just isn't for me at the moment, which is fine. It's just like, that's a shame. That's a shame. Maybe more stuff will come at some point. But anyway, Mikey, thank you very much for coming on the show this week. I will have uploaded the Patreon version of the comic show by Sunday. I'm going to do that tonight while I'm, doing stuff. This show will be up on Monday, obviously. I'm going to be doing, probably on my own, I guess, because it's going to be easier, me talking about Babylon 5. So I'm going to be talking about seasons 1 to 5, because we were expecting Jason to actually be a big boy and watch some of that, but it looks like he's just never going to do it.
No, because he is rebelling in a way that no child should.
That's why I hate recommending people watch things, because they never do.
But it's like, I can't watch it now. Just like I don't really have time. It's just like you make time for other stuff. I know you do.
It's true. He watches Hollow Live and then Vishojo like a degenerate. Oh no. No. But yeah, the Babylon 5 will be going up at some point this week while you're listening to it, and then the free show of the comics will also go up at some point later on this week. Mikey, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to?
You can find me at Irish Paleo, and if you want to send us a message, you can email us on moonbase2@gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Facebook, Libsyn, Patreon, Weebly, anywhere really. We will listen if you speak.
Oh my God, it's true.
I'm currently going
through our punishment.
Yeah, I'm currently rummaging through PlayStation sales pages. So.
I don't think you'll find anything, but I wish you well, Mikey. You can find... Oh, I tell you what I have been doing as well. I watched a Razor Fist stream where he's been playing... Do you remember this game, Mikey? Deep Space Nine Harbinger?
Oh, Jesus.
From 1995's Harbinger. Harbinger came out during Season 3. Near the end of Season... No, it would have been near the beginning of Season 3 of Deep Space Nine. I had it, but did not get very far. And it's like a trip back to the past.
Yeah, it's gone back a few years.
It was surprising because they actually had quite a few of the cast members do it as well. Avery Brooks is in there. Nana Visitor.
Oh, God. Does Avery Brooks sound completely insane?
No, he sounds like he's just like reading... Do you remember like some of the lines Cisco did were quite flat sometimes in Season 1? It's that flat tone where he's not super invested. Sometimes you can tell when he's invested. Sometimes you're like, I didn't give a shit now. Season 1, he didn't give a shit.
Yeah, the thing when he's invested, you could always tell, like, because he goes, like, it's an amazing thing, like, Avery Brooks is probably the most comparable to Shatner in terms of overacting. It's just like, he's a very good actor.
That's the thing, yes. Like, when he overacts, it's well done overacting. It's justified as well. I think season 1 specifically is probably when he's the flattest. Maybe it's him discovering the character, or maybe he's like, this is a fucking dumb sci-fi show that made me shave my fucking beard, that made me, like, grow my stupid hair back. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. I don't know Avery Brooks, but it's nice to... It's nice. They had, what's his name? Rene Auberjois?
Yes.
I can never say his name. Odo's guy. He's in the game. He's like the main guy. Quark's in there as well. The only guys they don't have Bashir, they don't have O'Brien, which is a shame because, otherwise O'Brien could have suffered. We would have had some scenes like where O'Brien electrocutes himself, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been great.
It's O'Brien.
No Garrick,
suffering
obviously.
his life.
Yeah. Man, good times. Yeah, I liked Harbinger. I still have the mouse mat from when I got the game in those big PC boxes, which kids won't know these days. But yeah, you've said where you can be found, haven't you, Mikey?
Yes.
I think you did. Okay, you can find me on Twitter, CCTFW. YouTube is Kubrickman at TFW. You can find this podcast on Moonbase 2 forums on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn. YouTube is Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. You can also find us on the ccbunker.weebly.com. And if you do patreon.com/moonbase2 and you $2 each month, you get the extended version from the Fathers of Teltron 2. Get it a week early, and you get the Moonbase where we talk about transformery things in more detail, believe it or not.
Indeed.
Yeah. So nice to have you back, Mr. Mikey. Nice to hear your pretty little voice again.
Don't lie to me.
But it's the only thing that keeps our relationship together. The sweet, subtle lies that we tell each other.
The sweet,
but
almost imperceptible.
You'd almost never see them, apart from the tears in our eyes when we speak them.
Yeah.
But until next week, everybody, we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You are now leaving